Boy, I got to get me some of those products. Anyway, we are back, and as we mentioned, the first match coming up today is Froyo versus XENEX. And again, we're doing best of threes, as we mentioned, and so we've got plenty of TF2 here and plenty of time, I guess, for teams to kind of prove themselves. We can take a quick look here at the teams a little bit, kind of give more information, a bit of maybe a summary, some points from yesterday, perhaps, before we get ready to kick it over to our casters. It's coming. It's right behind this dust that you see in front of the camera here. There it is. So we have froyotech, of course, wearing their beautiful unis. That scout on the end, I'm told, is Free State, even though his name is not there. But he's humble. Don't worry about it. We see some of the numbers in the highlights there. These are from yesterday, as you peruse and have a look. Boys, scream it out. Is there anything that you see there that really jumps out at you?
Boomer!
Boomer, yeah. 17 to 7 KD.
Scary.
It's probably the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
now that 3.14 KAD is similar to pi, which is a mathematical constant, I believe.
And Boomer is constant within that team.
He's constantly alive.
Checks in the mail.
I'm out.
Well, certainly, as we pointed out, and as you mentioned, froyotech had some good performances from several of the players. It wasn't, a one-man show by any means yesterday. I'm sure that Twitch chat has their own ideas or their favorites or whatnot. Let's have a look over at the XENEX crew as well. A little bit more, perhaps, to talk about with XENEX. It was a team that was sort of put together. I mean, this is not like it was a squad that's been together a year or anything like that. We're having a look here. We've got Flushy, Smear, AMS. How'd you feel about AMS yesterday?
We never saw any of his games.
So it was really good for all of us.
Yeah, wow.
That's my favorite part.
Shocky was having some troubles yesterday, and I'm told that that will not be the case today.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything that belongs to him.
Yep.
So today, hopefully, he's got some possessions.
Yeah, I spoke to Bash, actually, who was saying that they're fixing him up. They're getting him set up. The Bash. Yeah.
Wow.
How about that? Let's have a look at some of the matchups, perhaps. Why don't we look at... What do we want? The medics? Let's look at the medics first. It's a good, safe place to start, right?
Yeah.
A little bit. Because, I don't know. I just decided to say medics.
That
I don't know how they match up.
A mistake, I would say.
Yeah.
But hindsight's a wonderful thing. But we can see Uber drops.
Yeah, 404 dropped 3 yesterday.
Disgusting.
Disgusting?
Absolutely disgusting.
They only played 5 games, didn't they? So...
Well,
yeah.
It's interesting, though, because, 404 is not, despite what Twitch chat would have you believe with their copy-pastes, he's not somebody that drops an incredible amount of Ubers. You look at his NA stats, he's not one of those guys that you're expecting to drop,
I think it's
2 or 3
because you've got Banny, and some may remember last year where Ash made a boo-boo, killing himself in spawn.
Yes.
And Banny gave him the death stare, which actually... It was so brutal that Ash was actually in physical pain
Yes.
just to stare.
Yeah.
And that is something that all of these players are actually deeply afraid of, 404 especially.
We talk about playing for tournament lives, but the froyotech players are playing for their actual lives. If they
Really?
let Banny down, there will
Their
be no
actual
mercy.
lives, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to kill. That's the quote I can remember from Twitter.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah, I don't know what it means
White
exactly.
girls beware.
That is him venting his
Wait,
frustration.
border control's not listening? What else do we want to look at here in terms of matchups? Maybe the
demo matchup.
demo matchup?
Smear is a pretty good demo man.
Yep.
He's nice and consistent.
Yep.
Really solid.
He's not like the flashiest, but yeah, he's very, very, very solid. But as you can see, the Muma that is to the left,
Yep.
represented by a different coloured collar. He had a really, really good day yesterday.
Yep.
Like, survivability was insane across all of the games, actually. He had some of the lowest death counts, and as I was mentioning yesterday, keeping a demo man alive is a very, very good thing. It's actually, overall, just ridiculously good to have that demo man impact throughout the game, knowing that he's alive, he might have a trap somewhere.
Yeah, and a lot kind of, this is really telling, that he's doing, in terms of damage, Smear's doing about the same, but as you said, Muma stays alive a lot more, and he takes less heals, you can see there as well. Not a huge amount. The KD and the KD ratios there, though, is where Muma is really sort of, like you said, staying alive.
Off the charts.
Off the charts.
They are off them. Right,
we'll have to get new charts.
Unfortunately, Gentleman
John, are you there? Hello, is he on the line?
Sort this out because if I was playing, you would have needed bigger charts.
But this is a good matchup though because Smear is certainly no slouch himself. I'm curious to look at the Pocket Soldiers, the matchup of TLR. If we can pull it up here, TLR, the showdown of the 3-letter soldiers.
Yeah.
AMS. What are your thoughts on this as we have a look at this, the numbers from yesterday?
I mean, AMS has a better 3-letter name because...
In terms of aesthetic, or?
It can just be AMS.
Right.
You
can't really Tyler. But now his name is Tyler.
Yeah.
So it's perhaps,
But AMS is also short for his name, which is...
True. I
believe is the the name. It's quite a difficult one to pronounce. Yeah. Now this is going to be quite it's not going to be an interesting matchup because I think TLR is just going to perform as he normally does.
Yep.
It's just whether or not AMS will not be bad.
Really? Well, that's what a lot of people keep saying about AMS is that you're looking to see if he goes really big, it can really help his team, but he can also... Well, do you know what, though? I've heard from different people saying he's consistent at lands, and I've heard from some people saying he either shows up or doesn't.
Well, I played with him last year, and the whole launching thing where he just sort of jumps in, that's a constant sort of pain sometimes, because it's all very well going forward, but if you're not able to get yourself back and actually help with the pocket, there's a thing where he just sort of, you're making space, which is literally just a case of you are actually just making space. You're not going in aggressive. You're not trying to kill anything. You are just sort of closing that gap on them to make room for your team so they have space, safe passage.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like one of the problems. When he dies in the process, he's not doing his job, basically. And if he's able to keep himself alive and actually sort of... There's just seemed to be quite a few times where it's just uncoordinated aggression and his team are defending with a player down and a key player in the pocket down. It's just kind of one of those things. So it'll, I feel, frustrate the team if he's not up to standard.
Yes.
I feel like he tries too hard sometimes. Like he feels like he has to make a play to help his team, when in reality, the best play he can make is just to group up with his team and then take a team fight and set it up.
Yeah.
I feel like he tries too hard a lot of the time, or tries too hard at the wrong times.
He tries to do like all the roles, and he tries to constantly do all the right things. He overthinks the situations, and he's just not sort of, as you're saying, it's just peace of mind of just knowing, the situation which is the safest and the best one where you can actually help your team. Yeah. Like there is no need sometimes to sort of go testicle deep into the enemies.
Wow. We're waiting here. We do have players in server, so we're. I want to assure the Twitch chat we're not about to sit here for an hour going on and on, but we are waiting for all the players to join in. Want to look at the Roamer matchup? Why don't we look at the Roamers?
Yeah.
Tiger. Patty Bear. Paddington Bear. That's perhaps short for Paddington. Do you think it is?
He originates from Peru.
Oh.
Paddington Bear.
Wow.
That's a nice fact.
How about that?
Yeah.
Trivia.
Wouldn't have guessed that, would you?
Trivia for you.
Marmalade is also not a good thing to put on toast.
Okay.
But he eats it.
Tell us your thoughts on this. And by the way, as a side note, somebody told me today that Tiger's father is better at FPS games than him, which was interesting.
That really does put a state of how old people are getting now.
Yeah. His dad is a Quake guy, I heard. I don't know if it's true. I'm just telling you what I heard.
That's it also shows that it is true. Tiger is in fact 9 years old.
Yeah.
But to be honest, Tiger's probably one of their better players, and he's actually a really good roamer, very DM heavy. The problem with him is that he does tilt quite a bit and get very, very emotionally involved in the game. I did sort of merc for their team a couple of times, and there were quite a few times where he's just clogging up the calls. When he dies, he's sort of just calling people idiots and stuff like that, doing the old, the banny. But it's just a case of, when you die or when something's not going your way, just shut up. Because other people are still alive and playing the game, but he's just sort of whining and just sort of... If you just rein that in, you're like a lot better for your team. And if he has a good game, they've got a choice. They've got a chance of putting up a fight. But I do feel that maybe it's not just the individual classes of roamer and soldiers, and pocket is how they work together.
Yeah, that's something that we mentioned a little bit yesterday. Is the comms aspect, and some players use the word toxic. Maybe that's a little over the edge, but some players are more or less pleasant to be with in voice comms, and I think that's something we can maybe talk a little bit more about today. But CX, what are your thoughts on this matchup? You probably know Tiger a little better than Patty, but we saw some Patty yesterday.
Yeah, I think DM-wise, even though froyotech have the advantage, I don't think it's massive. I think a lot of it's going to come down to, we saw how organized Froyo were yesterday, how disciplined they were, and how good they were as a team. XENEX brought in Flushy to try and add more direction to them. So I think it's going to be key for how Flushy can rally his troops together and also keep them calm in those difficult situations when things aren't always going their way.
Yeah. I, of course, have not played with Flushy, but I met him yesterday. He seems very outgoing. If that's any indication
that is a key trait of a good TF2 player.
Well, no, I'm just thinking of how he is in voice comms and how he is communication-wise.
He's very, very... He's actually quite a pleasure with comm-wise. It's very, very rounded. A really impressive thing as well is how he's sort of quite precise with his calls. When his calls are pushes, he'll say what class, what direction, what they actually want to achieve. So if his team actually sort of pay attention properly and listen to sort of like the base that Flushy has set out, like the base plan going into like a push, then they do, and again, this is something that I was mentioning, Fully Charged and quite a few other people. They have the potential to do really, really well. It's just that they need to come together as a team, Fortress 2.
If they were, I mean, if you're, well, tell you what, let's have a look at the scouts here. I don't know how they match up. I'd like to see Shockey's stats from yesterday. Here we go. We have Banny and we have Shockey. I have ESP. I knew it was coming. We talked about how Shockey had kind of a rough time yesterday and was kind of thrown off his game because of factors out of his control. And that some people are expecting a bigger day out of him, perhaps today, and I'm sure you guys are nodding your heads to that. What's sticking out here? The big thing that you see in terms of numbers anyway, which doesn't really tell the whole tale, is the deaths per map.
Yeah, it's telling me that Shockey's bad.
Wow.
But we know that that is not necessarily
That might be an oversimplification.
Yeah. But again, that is an oversimplification of his troubles yesterday. So obviously, if we could get this change to have, instead of Shockey's stats, a small bio as to what happened, because that would be probably a better reflection. But
yeah, I'm sure Twitch chat will be writing it up right now. Yeah.
They'll just pause the stream, have a quick read. But Banny yesterday, he also actually played very, very well.
Yep.
He was consistent and solid through most of the maps,
yep.
As you'd sort of expect. So between these two, they've both got tons of experience.
Both I-Series champions.
They are. Banny's a two-timer, though. And many seasons of invite, which Shockey has none of.
He has no invite titles. That's really important. It's not listed on here, but never won invite.
Exactly. Banny,
that's a big difference.
He's won a high number of them. I can't count up to the numbers that he has won invites.
Several. How about just about 2 for KD ratio for Banny on Scout? That's pretty impressive.
That is pretty good. I mean, he plays more of like a very, very heavy pocket scout. Yeah,
doing a lot of the calling.
Yeah, yep. So that is actually something that is good, but I can't remember who it was. Yesterday was mentioning that it's not exactly the best thing because you do only have like a...
It's in stalemates.
Yeah. Well, you see how much of the heals he's taking as well.
Yeah.
On Scout.
It's not a beneficial thing necessary because 2 rockets, he's dead.
Yeah.
So it can obviously work against them. Yep. It just depends on the map and obviously the team and the situation. I believe although we do actually have the maps.
We know the maps. Let's pull up the other Scout matchup here just for fairness, you know. We don't want to forget about our boys here. We've got Free and we've got, that's Free State there on the left. You can tell he's a clean-shaven looking one on the left. And Fun's the other Scout. We have the map lineup we can talk about here as well. Looking pretty even in terms of numbers here. Nothing to really pick out in this matchup.
Impressive thing I would say is Fun's is actually doing quite well in terms of his statistics, even though they lost pretty much all game apart from one.
Yeah.
He's actually, I believe it might have been the Crowns game, I think I looked at on the logs, and he was actually far above his entire team.
Yeah.
He actually did put in a very, very good individual performance. Obviously, that means nothing. But on these stats here, you can actually see that Funds is against nobody, as they are not named.
Right.
He's as good as nobody.
He's as good as no one.
Easy to win when you're up against nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's sort of like an up-and-comer. He's a Highlander player.
Yep. Is he really?
I believe so.
Now, what is that? What is Highlander?
It's a
It's like Sixes, but worse.
redundant and stupid game mode.
Wow.
There, I said it.
I'm in England, and I can hear Reddit screaming.
I know.
Boy, we do have the maps here. They've, as we mentioned, we're doing best of 3, and it is on a pick-ban system where the teams get to pick and ban maps. Imagine that.
Wow.
We have, do you want to tell us what the teams have chosen here in our first matchup?
Yes, if I can read this correctly, I
can
believe.
Now, War can't read, so why don't you get it?
You sound it out.
Those are the banned maps.
Ban via duck.
I'm
So
leaving.
froyotech banned Viaduct.
And I guess XENEX banned Granary, Froyo pick Gully, XENEX pick Badlands, Froyo banned Reckoner, XENEX banned Process. I know
that's the fastest English learning I've seen in my entire life.
I have to
He's
say,
a smart kid, you know.
no, it's
You
my
picked that
teacher.
up.
It was my teacher, if I'm honest. The way that you placed your finger
Guys.
on this, on these, was
I am
just
good at pointing.
beautiful. So yeah, it's,
Which leaves let's say
snake
now the
water,
important,
basically.
the interesting part now of the maps that we're going to play.
it's Gully, Badlands, Snake.
Gully, Badlands, Snake. So 3-5 CP maps. Viaduct ban, as you mentioned. No Reckoner. We are, I'm assuming, going to see Reckoner today at some point.
I don't think so.
don't think
If
Really?
it's an NA team,
You think? Okay. How about Jasmine T?
No.
Jasmine T will also ban it. I think.
Really?
I think the foreign teams, as in the Australians and the Americans, won't play against Europe because of Europe's greater experience. And I don't think Full Tilt would play it against Crowns if they end up facing each other.
Just
It's-
bad memories.
It's just, yeah, it's gone either way. You know, it's a bit of a coin flip for them. They'd rather pick something they're more
Crowns
confident
might
with.
want to pick it because they do have a very, very good job of just doing nothing and annoying the other team by doing nothing and defending the last. So they do have that. If I'm honest, the final picks, obviously, naturally, as Froyo are the favourites anyway, do favour Froyo, especially Snakewater. Last year, i58, they have very, very good Snakewater performances. I believe, actually, though, having said that, I believe they lost against Nerd Rage from some amazing individual performance by Zebasai. Rest in peace, he's gone to Overwatch. i52, though, they put a stomping performance against Epsilon on Snakewater as well. Very, very dominant. They have like a good set strategy and setups.
Epsilon was a good team.
Gully is very good for Froyo.
Yeah.
Badlands, I believe XENEX have just picked because it's a more of a puggy map. And obviously, because this team hasn't been around and practicing for long, it should sort of favour them.
They've played it a ton, you're saying.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it's obviously the D-Dust 2 of Team Fortress.
Sound like you said DDoS.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
That's
DE Dust too. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in that best of 3. It'll be interesting to see throughout the day. We'll, of course, have eXtine again interviewing a lot of the players, especially with the best of 3s. We'll be trying to get in between maps some players too. I'm interested to know if Reckoner is an auto ban for the non-Euro teams or not, because I know that they've played it. Wow.
It was actually the second ban, so obviously XENEX had an option to pick it. So
But I mean, that's an interesting thing. I mean, if you have no idea, Reckoner is a fairly newer map. It's one that it's not a fixture where we've been playing it for years and years and years, like Badlands and like Gully and like Snake. And the EuroLeague ETF2L had it in their previous season, and NA have just kind of been on their own, as well as, I guess, Australia, and having to play it in just their own pickup games and whatnot. So
Yeah, that was a bit strange because normally NA is very, very good on adopting new maps. EU have had like this sort of thing for ages where we don't like unlocks and we don't like new
Change
maps.
is bad.
Yeah, change is very
Change
bad.
is bad.
It
Absolutely.
makes us sick
Yeah.
to our stomachs.
Yeah.
We just want to play Badlands and Granary
all day.
or with no
Double
unlocks
shotgun
forever.
soldier,
Yeah.
Vanilla.
Yeah, that's all we want, but we're
Can't
not
do
allowed
that.
that anymore.
It's
But
illegal.
I think I believe the map maker's going to be here or is here.
Really?
Obviously, they made
You on the line here? We have
Sunshine.
Fi on the line. Hello? Nope.
Well, they made it's
Check in with them
makers of Sunshine, which is in the official rotation now as well. So
Yep.
it's a good map. I feel it looks very nice.
Yep.
But that isn't what makes a good map
Yep.
necessarily.
It is nice to have, though, that wild card kind of map in a big tournament like this, the I-Series, the biggest tournament, because it's something we can look forward to. And perhaps the Euro teams all being sort of equally familiar with it, perhaps we will see some Reckoner games. Some people might not have seen the map whatsoever. And it is good. I've cast some Reckoner, and it can produce some good moments. I like it.
I mean, the surprising sort of map pick is definitely still in the equation. I feel like maybe there'll be a point where both teams may actually want the opposing teams to use Reckoner as their ban. Like they just
kind of like a game of chicken, like waiting.
I was involved in a team that did that, which was Suave against Nuts and the Rollerbladers with Zebosai, some classic players, but he's dead again.
Wow. How many times can you mention Zebo, I wonder, in one thing?
Zebo.
Yeah.
Zebo. Yeah, so we actually picked Sunshine against them in the grand final, and they didn't prepare and in the notes they said nobody picked Sunshine. But we'll
keep an eye on the picking and the banning as we go on. Tell you what, we've got enough players in server. We've got some TF2. We have TurboTabs, and we've got Max. They're going to take us away. Are you there, boys?
We're here, and we're ready to go. We're Turbo Max. I think that should be our little team name. We came up with one with Dreamboat yesterday. You ready for this game?
Yeah, I think I'm ready for this game. The real question is, are you ready for this game, Max? Because I'm not sure if the crowd can hear you. Your mic's just maybe, yeah. I know the world is deprived of Maximilian.
All right, I've moved my mouth closer to my mouth. Is that better?
Well, hopefully, we've got the best minds of TF2 on the job right now, but. Yeah, I've been looking at some of these picks, Max, and they're interesting. How so? I think both of these teams haven't been doing their homework in regards to just the best maps against one another. Mainly to do with this Gullywash pick, because I would say Gullywash is like miles ahead, like their best map for froyotech. And but in the meet,
Yeah, all we can hear right now is war.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's very easy to concentrate on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Good work, my friend.
But also, the pick from XENEX will onto the Badlands map as well. That is going to be like I think it's going to be probably the map of the series to watch. But it doesn't mean they can't pull some surprises on Gullywash. I mean, keep in mind, you have AMS, you have Tiger. These are big soldier names in European, and they've had a somewhat solid LAN.
Yeah, and I mean, in the past at DreamHack Summer, when they were Crowns, I mean, they had a really close game with Full Tilt. No one saw that coming. That went to a golden cap. They even had a close game with the current Crowns, the past and future selves. Had a nice little match there, and that was pretty good. And that was, I mean, it was at a point where Crowns were still kind of shaky, but after that, they did come back to...
Max, I could hear you.
Oh, there we go. I feel good now. So yeah, they did come back after all of that, and they gave a convincing game to... Crowns and Full Tilt at DreamHack Summer, so I'm not sure. I mean, I think they can do it, but yeah, Gully is such a strong map for Froyo.
Is there any particular players that you're going to be watching on this map at all?
I'll tell you who I'm not going to be watching, and that's Muma.
Why?
Because he just sits there.
He just sits
It's like watching Setlet, but Setlet sometimes goes in, or he's at least hiding somewhere really weird.
Maybe this is the way to play of TF2, because I'm not sure if you've been looking at the stats, Max, but he's literally been farming some of these... points. I think he's literally the top ranked demo at the stat-wise in the entire event.
Okay. That's very good. He can brag about that, but I'm going to give you some insider gossip that I got here. Oh, wow. I'm not going to tell you who told me this, but you have to believe me, everyone on the stream. But I heard that Banny tried to get Muma replaced mid-tournament. Just going to put that one out there.
I don't believe that for not even a second.
No?
No.
I mean, his whole team has been...
Who told you this? Hallow?
No, of course not. I wouldn't trust Hallow with anything. Anyone.
It sounds like what Hallow would make up.
It does sound like something Hallow, but it's from someone I do trust. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
But no, he's definitely been playing pretty well. I mean, I was watching the Full Tilt Froyo game earlier, and Mike had a really hard time to get onto Muma. Yeah. Who has a hard... when does Mike ever struggle with anything in TF2, So, he's definitely a really solid player. I just think... What I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to say he's bad. He's really good. He's mechanically a god. He definitely deserves, to be at this position. His biggest problem, I think, is he doesn't back up his team enough. I think he needs to just try and die more, and it'll probably be way better.
Yeah. Do you think just taking a note out of the Jasmine T book, just going in there,
yeah, just go in,
balls to the wall. It's okay if we die. We just need to die for the cause.
Yeah. But I mean, the scouts have been playing extremely well, and so if they have more damage to play off, it's easier for them. They don't have to make every shot a meat shot. Just hit some 20s, and it's all good,
All right, I think we've gone live, Max.
Oh, yeah, nice. Thanks. Thanks, production. Here we go. We have CP Gullywash, our first map of today's game between XENEX and froyotech on Gullywash. I think I've already mentioned that. And on this first middle, I'm going to be watching the demo man, who I've just been talking about, Big Mooma. I'm hoping he's going to do some big stuff. He's going choke. He's taking a quick little break. Smire is going to beat him by quite a little bit as both teams take their position. All of them are playing on XENEX's side, and the first pick is going to be onto Free State, as it's going to be picked up by AMS, and Froyo already backing out. They do have Paddy. He's going to try and go for some kind of bomb. Here he is. He's in now. He's onto Flushy, and he gets that pick. That's a really good for froyotech. They do lose 3, but they get that med, and it was pretty much the only thing they could get out that middle.
I think you're going to have to get used to seeing this picture, Max, because Paddy is somewhat of a god on this map. I would say it's definitely the strongest map, and probably a large margin reason to why they picked this map. So get used to Flushy dying a lot on these mids.
All right, well, let's see if Flushy will die again as TLR tries to make an advance for his team. They do cap second, but they're kind of just running away. I guess they know that, they've got the big Uber disadvantage. It's really smart. And there's a nice force there from Tiger. He knows he had to do that, and this Uber's not really going to do anything. Well, they get the second point for it. They're trying to get middle, but they don't really have the best health as they're coming in here. Both Sollies jumping across, trying to get all of the spam for the scouts to clean up. And XENEX are just completely bunched together. They're all taking the same damage, and they're going to have to concede the point, Turbo.
Yeah, and when they took all that damage, AMS couldn't do that bomb to really trade out, almost try and force out some sort of pick coming from any of the classes, really, a medic, a demo, something to just stunt the push, but that controlled spam coming out from Froyo just won them that mid-point.
Yeah, it was a really solid force. Like, they got forced by Tiger, and then they just couldn't do anything with the Uber, but they managed to get the point, and they already had the momentum when they were swinging in, and they just converted, and now we're going to be holding on this middle. It's your first round, and Flushy's skins haven't loaded for me. He's got that, like, textureless texture. He looks so strange.
Yes, but it's working fine and dandy for me. But in the meantime, he does have that 100% Uber. I'm a bit surprised that Flushy didn't decide to play off the advantage there and push in.
How do you think that XENEX? Do you think XENEX or Froyo are going to be the ones to make the push?
I think XENEX are quite balls to the wall, but Froyo, they're the kind of team that they like to make these sort of unexpected drive pushes, and it looks like they're poking about in this big door at the moment. Seeing if Mooma can just get a straight little pick here and there. It was actually Free State getting a pick somewhere on the flank. I think he's knocking about in the base, so he's going behind.
We've got the Uber now onto Banny, the pocket scout. Uber's going to be used from Flushy. He was really low. He might have even dropped there. Like, he could have dropped it, he took that pipe. And both Ubers just being used to save players, but now as it ends, Froyo are picking up all of the frags there. Everyone dead. Tiger's just a fresh respawner. He's going to try and hide, I'm not sure, but this should definitely be a round for Froyo. They're all alive. XENEX aren't going to be spawning for another 10 seconds. Tiger's getting cleaned up there. They're only now just capping second, but I don't think XENEX will be up in time.
Yeah,
no, maybe?
Ooh, I'm not sure. It's going to be very difficult. They've already laid stickies down on one door. You've even got all the players onto the point. It's just all said and done. Froyo will walk away with the first round in this Gullywash map, but I think it all just came down to Free State there. He knew that if he could get behind, get that kill, there's no way for XENEX to run off to, and they're just caught in this situation where if they could potentially be wiped, and it would be a round-winning play.
Yeah, it's a really Banny-esque thing as well. Like, you take your entire team in one area and use that as the opening to get someone in behind, because he's obviously got the protection. So with all this smart play from Froyo, they didn't really have a convincing middle last time, so let's see if they switch it up. I mean, we did have Paddy get the med pick. That's pretty much all they got going. As we have both teams going big door this time round, and it looks like the Froyo are going to be the ones to take the high ground first. This might actually end up quite badly for XENEX as they just make their way up now. They're spamming across the point. Tiger's playing on the floor, waiting for his opportune time. As TLR is going to jump him and get that clean pick onto him, but Stefan's going to immediately return the frag, and Paddy's going to go down as well. Well, Amps makes a play onto 404. Beautiful surf from him, barely surviving. So does Mooma, going down to like 1 HP there. And Froyo still have all the position though, and as XENEX are trying to back out from this middle, they're just going to get picked off. Fun's getting taken down. Everyone's onto Flushy, and that's going to be a full wipe for XENEX after a really strong start that middle.
Yeah, they got the positions a lot better this time, but as soon as they got on top of the high ground, they decided to stick with the high ground as opposed to XENEX, who dedicated themselves a little bit too hard onto TLR. They dropped down, got the kill onto Tiger, and they had nobody to really deal with all the top pressure.
Yeah, now we see that the Froyo already capping out second. They're not taking lobby just yet, but XENEX are definitely going to give them up. We've got the Heavy and the Engineer. Pretty standard Gullywash defense. Are you liking this, considering the Uber situations and all that?
Yeah, it's I would say it's semi-decent. I think I would maybe get a sniper up but anyway, they're moving into it now. They've already taken out that sentry gun. The disadvantage of that is it just takes way too long to get that sentry gun going, and you've got Smear hiding in the sneaky area. Oh, he does get a nice clean pipe onto Banny though, and with those stickies on the point and everybody not being able to get on top of Smear, they can't get that point pressure, so big pipe from Smear there. If he died, it could have been very different.
Amps also got 3 kills. That was like really crushing both of them. As you can see, that point is like 7.3 pixels away from being capped. But XENEX are going to get the clean push out and get the cap. They got everyone. Just some nice defense there as they're coming into this middle here. We've got the full Uber advantage. AMS going to launch right in there, try and take the high ground, but he's gone in way ahead of his team, and he's going to end up getting taken down by Paddy. Nice counter jump from him, and XENEX are just already conceding this with 2 down. They have no health. The Uber's going to be terrible, and they drop Smire. Oh, Free State just runs in. That's so bad for XENEX now. He's not done. He wants more. He's in onto lobby. He's trying to shoot them all down, and Muma's spamming so much damage, but Stefan's actually managed to take down Free State. Is he going to be able to get out? He's super weak. Tiger's there with the cover. Takes down Banny. Get out of here, kid. This is our territory. That's
Paddy, he might be coming from water though. He has managed to sneak his way in, but that was just a bad case of like Flushy holding onto it for way too long. He's looking for the ideal conditions, and he drops it anyway. Good God, he treated that Uber like his child. Just did not want to use it in the action. In the end, he just dropped the baby.
What is happening? So Flushy just walks out and then drops to 2 stickies that Muma threw down, and then Paddy just backcaps while the rest of XENEX are now left dribbling on second. That's really unfortunate for them. Wow.
Yeah, it's just, I think Flushy just dropping the ball there, just letting his team players die one by one. At some point, you just need to kind of salvage the situation with your Uber charge rather than just wait for the most perfect conditions in the game.
Well, to be fair, it is currently 11:46 in the morning, and everyone stopped playing at like 2 a.m. So maybe the teams are pretty tired. So maybe they just want to get this one over with quickly. That's what XENEX are doing. They're taking the fight straight to froyotech, but that's going to lead to them losing 3 players really early. Tiger's going to try and get onto 404 to equalize this in some way. He barely doesn't get onto him there. Eventually gets taken down by TLR, and Paddy having another amazing middle. I'm so impressed by these froyo soldiers on this middle so far.
The synchronization between the soldiers as well is what was really making the middles for them. The fact that they're coordinating these bombs to hit the same place at the same time, and it's hitting practically all of XENEX as well, because they're just trying to all squirm onto the same high ground as quickly as they can, but they're just being read like a book at this point.
And we have XENEX here with the heavy and engineer setup again. I really like this because it means your Uber's not really going to kill any players. You have to focus it on the sentry and the heavy, and it's like you can do both, but it's going to be over as it happens. Let's see how they try and deal this one. They're going to focus both at the same time. Sentry goes down super quickly. Heavy's going to be caught out here as the Uber starts to fade. They get another point. Sticky's dead. TLR manages to live though, and Smire and Tiger are finding these frags. TLR are not, froyo, are not actually getting this point with 4 down. They're already backing out. 404 and Banny are like, oh my god, my team.
I was kind of hoping that maybe they would just slow down just a little bit and realize, they might have a sentry gun. Maybe if we could spam that down and then get the Uber charge in, they can make a lot more use out of that Uber.
I mean, that's pretty standard in Europe now. I mean, if some people were doing their homework. But I guess Banny doesn't know anything about Europe, right? He doesn't know any of the players' names or anything like that.
I mean, at the same time, does he really need to know much? He's winning 2-0 right now. They are going in with the Ubers. XENEX are definitely popping early this time. They're not going to drop any sort of Ubers. Oh, you actually got some scouting.
Oh my god, what is going on? All these shots, and now Muma with the pipes as well, following those air shots, not to be outdone, gets 2 frags for his team, and froyo are pushing in, and XENEX are just backing off. They're conceding all of this ground. Oh, Stefan takes the pipe there. He's going down really low. Free State's going to clean that pick. Why? Like, yeah, it was a bad Uber, but I don't know. I think they gave that up too easily. They've not even got the force of 404. I mean, that's why they were backing up. And now Smire goes down as well, and Flushy's left on his own. Yeah, they definitely should have put up a bit more of a fight there, I feel.
I feel like they just overextend a little bit. If they focus a bit more on the cap and a little less on the kills, they were just kind of going for the big risk play, and it just didn't pay off for XENEX. And you could see they didn't even, they were so close to capping, and those forward respawners really gave a reason for froyo to fight for the point there.
So we're going to have froyo capping the second. They're leaving one person to do it. They're already moving into lobby. It looks like they want to take this through shutter. They do have the Uber. Flushy's on 85. I feel like maybe if he built a little better, it could have been fine. They're going to come in through main. They're pushing into this heavy and engineer defense again. The sentry's not even been shot once. There he goes. Finally gets taken down, as well as Tiger. The Heavy's still up though, and Uber up from Flushy's going to force Froyo to run away. They don't lose any players though, so there might be a chance that XENEX overextend as Tiger does go down. Stefan knocked really weak, gets a nice arrow from Flushy, lives to fight another day, but Froyo aren't going to give this one up. No Uber just coming straight in. Paddy tries to jump onto him, but a nice shot there from Amps is going to deny him. Launch denied, but Froyo are capping the point. No one's going to drop down on it. Funz finally does so, but he catches a sticky from Muma and gets taken down. All of XENEX are really weak. They're trying so hard to hold this one. Froyo are still at the gates though. Tiger's going to get taken down by Muma. Big pick onto TLR there from Flushy, but eventually Muma with his 5th pipe kill.
Yep.
3-0.
What did I tell you, man?
He's making me my words, I'll admit it.
Yeah, Froyo are not scared about these dry pushes. They'll surprise you, and I think that caught XENEX off guard. They just weren't ready, and Smear wasn't in a great position to relay some stickies and keep that point pressured from any sort of like point play coming out from Froyo, and that point play coming out from Banny at the start of it was what won them the rest of that fight.
Yeah, they took way too long to get on top of that. That was I don't know. I'm just gonna say that XENEX are half asleep. I think if they were, if they had some vitamins or whatever, we'd see.
On the bright side, this was Froyo's pick, so you could say like, yeah, they're expected to win this though. They still have 2 more maps in this, but who knows? We've still got plenty of time.
There's 20 minutes left. This one is not done, but it does look like Froyo might be taking this one. But Paddy with an early pick does give XENEX some room that they need. We have TLR under, and he's getting focused down really hard. Is going to die. Banny with a return pick onto Tiger, however. But XENEX have all the position, but none of the health. So this really could go either way, as Banny is just starting to hit these shots and pick off the XENEX players. And the rest of the combo are slowly backing up, just giving the scouts the room. Free State is going to find his way behind. We might see a pincer play, as XENEX definitely not giving up this point. Stefan really far forward, but not finding anything. Banny almost takes him down, chasing that kill really hard. We still have Free State playing on the low ground, just barely misses that arrow, does a 404. He's trying for it again. He's standing still. Someone just needs to shoot him for 6 HP, but instead Muma's going to pick off Stefan, and Free State finally gets the arrow he's been waiting for, and the force comes onto Flushy, holding it down, and Froyo now have theirs. XENEX need to get that force before they get out. They can't leave without it. It's just a complete waste, but this huge Solly Bomb is going to pick off Smire. That was amazing. Great coordination from froyotech there, and they're just going to have to muster up some hold, but it's not going to be able to happen because Froyo already have their Uber. Tiger's going to get picked off again. It's going to be a trade for Paddy in the end, but 404 still hasn't had to use. We do have funds in for this force, but it's not going to work. Banny's just going to pistol him down. 404 still hasn't had to use, and Muma's 4 HP. What is going on?
It looked like there's a bit of miscommunication between teams. It looks like some players wanted to stay in for that fight for the force, and some players just wanted to get out. And because of this indecision, Smear died. And when Smear died, they could just enter these choke points for free and just start dominoing and snowballing off of that. And they're the king of dry pushes right now in this tournament.
I'm not really sure how I feel about how this one's going to go down. They're trying the Pyro. The heavy NG hasn't been working, so I like that they're mixing up a little, but I'm not sure if this...
well, they're just scared about this Ubercharge, I suppose, but they do have Fushy back onto with the full Ubercharge ready, so they could probably switch that Pyro out. But who knows, maybe they're just going for the wild gimmick plays.
Now with Free State down, the question is, are XENEX going to try some kind of play, or... is Froyo even going to do something, or is Free State going to come up as an off-class? Does he off-class? I don't know.
Well,
yes, Sniper. Yeah, called it.
Keep in mind, Froyo are in the driving seat, and they could slow this game down if they really wanted to. I know it's 18 minutes left, and they probably want to try and just finish this out. Maybe invoke some of the Mercy rule in, get into the heads of XENEX. I mean, I don't think there's been many 5-0s that have ended the game so quickly in this entire tournament.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the closest we came was yesterday with Froyo versus Jasmine, but then suddenly Jasmine woke up, took their Adderall or whatever, and just started pounding Froyo. Hopefully, maybe XENEX can pull something like that, or maybe they're just waiting for the next map already. I hope not. There's a lot of time remaining, so that'd be a pretty depressing thought. As Froyo are just constantly rotating around Free State, waiting for him to get a pick.
Yeah, they've got Tiger on the counter sniper though, and I like this play. It's even if you haven't got a great sniper as good as the opposing team, that other sniper is going to just provide so much more pressure, and it's just a pain to worry about as a sniper to just to think about this guy who could just
we did have a sticky
easily.
trap onto Free State there. He got picked off. Amps went for the trade, but he didn't manage to get anything going. Smear's trying to lay an aggressive sticky trap, but it looks like Paddy's taking his turn to go in, and he's going to get cleaned up. That was when you go to somewhere and it's just been cleaned, all the floors are fresh. That's what that was.
Wait, whoa, Tiger! He's taking out 404!
Oh, alright. I was just trying to be funny, and Tiger's like, don't. This is my moment. I just dropped 404. He's going to be so annoyed. He wants like some huge shouting.
All right.
Let's do the post, so someone who can edit it. And Tiger's in on 404 with the drop.
I saw him go in. I was like, there's no way. There's just no way. I looked away. Didn't think it was going to happen. And no, now it's battle stations for Froyo. Oh, but the big sticky trap killed
and
not
the
just
Torn! And Muma taunted as well. I love that. Amps and Flushy getting taken down. Smeare, not to be completely outdone, does get his kill onto Paddy, but Froyo already going to be coming in. Demo Men meeting in and trading. Oh no, Banny traded with Smeare there, and the rest of Froyo are going to come streaming in as XENEX are only 3 remaining. TLR is in water. Tiger's trying to make as much damage happen as possible as XENEX is starting to get their spawners jumping onto the point. Free State does get taken down, but XENEX's health is not good. TLR going for the splash damage on the roof. They're trying to finish players off. He's really healthy. Flushy's reuniting. It's like they've forgotten that he's there though. They eventually do have to turn around. I think we're going to reset the last hold situation here as XENEX finally have their players.
Yeah. Going back to that push though, I don't know what Smear and Flushy were expecting. I mean, you've just killed the enemy medic and you're going to be pushing out of the base. There's going to be sticky traps.
Yeah.
And the most commonly going to be on those shutter doors. So when they went out there, it was very naive for them to suspect that they could just sneak in there.
We have XENEX trying to make a push out here, and Amps is getting knocked really low. Muma catches that final sticky, 5th kill of his life, and the Uber's going to be popped off to Banny, and he immediately takes down Funds, gets onto the combo, forces the Uber out of Flushy. Now that they've got that, they're going to do the old Euro and try and recycle, but 404 gets taken out. That's the worst case scenario, but it was already on the point, Banny! No, what the hell? No one turn around!
Yeah, they just ran out of players to just do all the tasks given to them. They were just spinning way too many plates over on XENEX as they were losing players. Stefan could have maybe played off the Uber a little bit better there. He was a bit caught out and away from his medic, and he couldn't make full advantage of that defensive Uber charge Flushy had.
I mean, there's just no one near the point. That must have been what it was. Like, Gollywash doesn't cap that quickly, and Banny just stood on it.
No players, and no one to really distribute the jobs, man. It's
all
difficult.
Right. Well,
the game is hard.
4-0. XENEX had 1 clean middle. We're going into the 5th and possibly the final middle. Please, I hope not. It's only halfway through, There's 50 minutes. Maybe they can get 4 rounds. Let's see what they're doing as they try to go for the high ground, but immediately get knocked off. Tiger re-jumping. Both teams taking their positions. Now TLR and Paddy go straight across, but they actually get mulched by XENEX. This is a really strong start for them. They do lose Smeare for it. It's all on how they play after this. Initial bomb coming from Tiger, but a great denial there from Banny. Just completely knocks his jump off as Amps does pick off the scout. 2 HP, getting his arrow. He's going to be coming back into the fight, and Froyo are backing out while XENEX have all their players. Smeare is a fresh spawner though.
Free State had he snuck up on Ams there, but he still kind of whiffs a few shots there. Ams just kind of shut down that possibility. Just nice little call out for Ams working under pressure there. But hopefully he can keep up this momentum for another 14 minutes, another 5 rounds that they have to claw back. It's going to be a tall order, and if they Froyo really want, they could just slow this game to a crawl. It is Gollywash after all.
Yeah, so this is going to be like one of XENEX's first attempts at a last push. Like, what do you want to see them do? How do you want to see them take it?
Notice you got Free State on the sniper here, so it could be it could be very disastrous if they just decide to push it. But they decided to go through the main doorway instead. Free State didn't see this. He's actually sent himself into water. They just counter Uber just to keep things in state. They're going really aggressive with it though. TLR just playing like he used to 4 years ago, taking these solo Ubers, seeing what he can bite off the enemy team, but they're just doing too well of a job to kite him and just not lose any picks there.
TLR is an old dog learning some new tricks. He's definitely adapted, hasn't been playing for a while. What is that sound? That is awful. Yeah, he's come back. He's not been playing for a while, and he's definitely like holding his own. I'm really impressed with what I've seen from him so far. Pretty much everyone on Froyo this map has actually really been impressing me. It's just been kind of their show. As it does look like XENEX are finally going to use in onto Smeare, flashing everyone in through main. Sentry Gun's going to get taken down immediately. Now they need to start focusing the point. As Moomer and Banny get taken down by a nice splash play there. Finally, the players onto the point, and with Smeare is going to cap it. 4-1, the comeback is real, TurboTabs. We got it coming on.
Oh, I don't know, man. It's maybe jumping the gun a little bit, but I like your spirit. I like your hope. I think most of that came down to the fact that they had too many players bunched up in that resupply area. You had Banny switching out from engineer. You had all the medic rotating. I think you even had the demo in there. You need to start spreading these players a little bit more, because it just made XENEX very easy for them just to fire down this huge blob and play the point pressure after that as well.
Alright, so after winning that last mid and a quick roll to let's see if XENEX can keep this momentum rolling. They are a very momentum-driven team, and already on this middle, they're taking a lot of early ground. Let's see if they want to follow that up. Froyo now just taking the high ground. Both teams spamming each other out, just feeling their way in. Smear getting knocked down kind of low, and Amps is going to be the initial launcher going right in, but Banny's just going to clean him off. And Paddy in with a huge bomb there. Him and TLR taking down Smear and Flushy. Tiger in for the return frag onto 404. Good by him, avoiding so much damage, even getting behind. This is really solid from him. The rest of his team has died, but he's drawing players back. Oh no, they're actually Froyo doing the next level smart thing. Just ignore him.
Yeah,
but they are going to have to be.
Good call from Tiger there, where he saw Flushy go down. He's like, okay, I need to make this. We've lost the mid. I just need to make sure we just don't lose the round. So he just went for the medic kill. He did get it. So very solid play coming out from Tiger there. But Froyo are just they have these better bombs coming out from their own.
Oh no,
Paddy.
Paddy's in from behind. Oh, he's onto Flushy. Oh, it's TLR. Oh my god, it was all still amazing. Just came in through that riverside area completely unseen as they were pushing out through main and just gets right onto Flushy. As Tiger is dead as well. This is really bad for XENEX, and Froyo just going to get a free second here, and they're going to get ready with a crits onto last.
They should have seen that coming. I mean, they did lose the mid-fight, and they're going to send some players forward, see if they can send some feelers out, get people behind, and maybe possibly get a man kill there. Somebody's probably 9 times out of 10 is going to be knocking that top lobby area, and yeah, I guess TLR just made the rest
Stay
of
with the heavy and sentry. The crits is going to be in. First crits lands onto the heavy, and the second one as well. Fun's taken down instantly. But now with the sentry, they can't really get in, and this is great by Amps just going right into their face. I mean, you're not invulnerable when you crits, so he's dealing all the damage, and they don't have an immediate repush because they have no health. And Tiger's now coming in for the huge flank, and he takes down TLR, and he takes down 404. Amazing from the young man there. His dad is going to be proud. Let's see if XENEX keep this one going, as they've got their chance to push out from last. Some Froyo players still lingering in the up top area, though.
What are they waiting for? You need to get on your horses and go, XENEX. You're just waiting about. I think they're worried about a backcat possibly, and they're just not entirely sure. Finally going about to check it. But look at all the time they've wasted. Froyo have got most of their players back. They can set up a fight for the second point, most likely.
Yeah, this is... I mean, even if XENEX do this, like, the point still stands that they're taking way too long. Half the team's going up top, half the top going through main. Big bomb there, but Flushy's going to get taken down from the stickies from Muma, and Amps' bomb's going to get completely denied by the shotgun of TLR in 2016, and that's going to lead to Froyo keeping their second, not even threatened by the XENEX players. Only Tiger and Smire remaining. Froyo are going to be streaming in any second now.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to 404 with a nice surf there, really kind of turning around that fight. If he went down, and it could have been a very different story, as they were all just desperately trying to focus him down there. So 5-1 on the board for Froyo. Maybe that comeback is not going to happen after all.
Alright, so what I'm hoping for right now is that Froyo forget its Euro rules and think they've won and just leave their PCs, and then while that goes on, XENEX slowly roll out. But no, it looks like they actually know what's going on. That's kind of unfortunate. But we have seen XENEX get a lot better on these middles. I mean, the last round didn't look too good for them, but they can definitely, they've shown some promise. It's only map 1. There's still 10 minutes remaining. Anything can happen. You can have a 1 minute, 10-second round. They can definitely do it all.
We've seen some wild comebacks in the tournament so far, so if it can happen for them, why can't it happen for XENEX? As they decided to sort of bait out the drop-down play with our Tiger. He does kind of rotate round instead. Paddy is waiting in the wind, playing very patiently, almost baiting out the jumps first coming out from XENEX, and AMS will be the first one to jump. Banny's getting right on top of AMS, making sure he has no way to really get on top of his own medic, and yeah, that's just a 1 mid fight for Froyo. Ooh, even finish it off with a nice clean air shot from Paddy there. That was just a really good solid mid from Froyo, just playing all off of XENEX's mistakes. Smire died so quickly to pretty much chip damage, and then all of XENEX were split up, so Froyo pretty much just called each player out. I was like, we're going to kill him, then him, then him, and now we're going to be capping second, and we're going to get ready for another last push. They've been a little shaky in their last pushes, but they're getting the round, so it ultimately doesn't really matter. How do you think Froyo are going to take this next one, considering it's even Ubers? Well, they're probably maybe just throw in a player, get that pick class going, play it a bit safe. But who knows? They might just trade out the Ubers. They're feeling pretty confident. And most
looks
of the
like XENEX actually want to take the fight to them. Uber is going to be used onto Amps, but they're nowhere near them. He's going to try and get onto 404. He's got the rockets, but he's going to die. But he does get that force. However, Flushy's still really far forward. He's going to get locked away. Going to get picked off by TLR. Couldn't make it out with Smire in time. And with 2 of their key combo players dead, froyotech are in a really good position to start pushing last already. Tiger doesn't want to let it happen. He goes for the jump, but he's going to die immediately. Stefan's going to be Banny's 4th kill, and they're making their way onto the point. Only Amps remaining. He's in spawn, and that's going to be 6-1, map 1 to froyotech.
Not even dropping a player there on that last push. I guess XENEX, I like their attitude towards that final minutes of the game. They think right, we need to they're going to either choke us out from just playing it very slow. So if we just go in there, go make the Uber on our own terms. But 404 kind of saw this coming. He went outside, kited this Uber as long as he can. He did end up popping, but the fact that they dedicated so much, Flushy had no escape plan, and he was definitely going to go down anyway, which is ideally what you want for your Uber going into the last push.
Yeah. I mean, there was just some general questionable plays from XENEX there, but as we said, I mean, this is definitely Froyo's best map. The Banny teams have always been exceptionally good on Gully Wash. We've seen it year in, year out. Every time they come, they're really hard to touch on Gully Wash. But I have some word that we're restarting the stream.
Okay.
So we'll it's going to be really quick. Don't worry, boys. We'll be right back with us handsome men. All right. So
that was painless. That
was easy. That was just like, you know, when you go to the doctors, you get the needle out. It's like, it's just gonna be a quick little.
Yeah, you kind of feel like, oh man, why did I make such a big fuss about this in my head? Anyway, so our second map, Badlands, the XENEX map, the pug map that everyone knows Badlands like the back of their hands, what to do, where to position. It's all about execution here, and XENEX are looking for you like, we can out-execute you. We've got some pretty legendary names on this roster: Stefan, AMS. You've even got Flushy here, old and fused.
Yeah. God,
second,
he was.
Yeah.
Damn, that's going back.
Yeah, that's like I43 second place.
Actually, yeah, the like juxtaposition between new and old players on XENEX is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And then you have Samira, who's like the blend of both.
I'm liking the state of TF2. It seems very mixed right now. You've got your old players, but you've also got your new up-and-coming players as well. It's very... I think Froyo and XENEX are just kind of like a perfect example of this. You see some of the new players like Paddy and playing with some of his idol like TLR that he was mentioning in an interview.
That was so cute.
Yeah.
I mean, froyotech, I've actually been calling them froyotech juniors because of that. You know, a lot of them, if you've seen the team pictures, they're about 12. Let's be honest. They're all amps. They're all children. But you know, kids they may be, but they are performing very well. They're 6-1 to that previous map, Gully Wash. Very convincing. Definitely proving, you know, there's that big argument, TF2 gets worse every year, all the good players keep leaving. But, like, every tournament we've had has been way better than last, way more skillful, and the teams are always getting closer. Yeah. Australia came out of nowhere on our first seed. Like, shut up, man. TF2's amazing.
It's just incredibly close as well. Can you really think back to any I-Series where any team could beat any team? Like, I mean, you can't even count XENEX out. A lot of people have in these first rounds, and we will look at these close games, but in these sort of, it's land, baby. It's an AMS team as well. They could just, if they just dig deep and find like the DM donkeys inside them, they could probably just squeeze out a couple of map wins here.
Exactly. Like, I think Froyo are playing not a lot smarter, but they're definitely catching out XENEX on their mistakes. I think that's more what it is. I don't think XENEX are playing like that bad. I think they're just doing these like little minor mistakes, and Froyo are so good at just immediately snapping on it. And I think that's the problem. But if XENEX start hitting their shots, I think it could start turning around because the mistakes aren't really that major. Yeah.
What about the players in particular? Is there any players that have, like, we've talked about the players that were probably going to impress us, but has anybody disappointed you so far? Maybe from
Smire.
Smire?
Yeah, I don't really think he's been hitting a lot of the pipes that he normally does. I think as he does in lands, like usually land, he's extremely consistent. He just pumps out so much damage. But there, he was getting caught out quite often. You know, he's been dying to chip shots.
I think the one that's been kind of surprised me a little bit, and it might be the fact that I've got him on my fantasy team, Flushy.
Yeah.
Flushy's been struggling just a little bit. I'm not sure he is the main caller for the team, and so when it comes down to these questionable decisions, it's probably going to be down to Flushy. Maybe a bit of Smira. I heard they share it just a little tiny bit, but yeah, the plays have been questionable, and the medic play has even been even more questionable.
I don't think 404 was looking questionable. I think he was looking...
Flushy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Flushy's been playing... I mean, it's not entirely his fault, right? I mean, the problem with medic is something that people forget, is the medic can't defend himself. You know, if his team isn't really up to scratch, he is going to be dying a lot more than he'd like to be. Like, there's only so much he can surf at the end of the day.
So, if I could squeeze a prediction out of you for this Badlands game, Max, like...
I can't hear you because the analyst desk is twice as loud as you are in my ear, and they're all I can hear.
Yeah.
So, you just keep talking for a little bit.
It's just really struggle to hear everything.
Yeah, we'll do logs.
Yeah, we'll do logs.
I love maths. I love numbers.
there's so much noise going on the line. You've got the music in the background.
Yeah,
you've got all this, and production are like, but let's do logs, guys. Let's do logs, and let's do logs, man.
I can actually hear. This is beautiful. Thanks, team. So, first number that strikes out at me is that big 20 frags from your boy Free State. Coming
It's just
out
been
big.
it's frag heavy over on Froyo here, and it's
Mooma 16-2. Jesus. And he was actually playing pretty aggressive. I think my previous call out of he's not really he's putting out the stuff, but he's not really helping his team. He was definitely in the middle of every fight that round, and he's still putting out the same kind of stats. I have been converted. I'm sorry, Mooma, if you're watching this.
Yeah, we knew straight off the bat that he's going to be surviving all these fights, but we never knew how much he's been just providing to his team. And I was a little surprised when I first saw the stats that all tournament he's been the best ever man stat wise. I was like, oh wow, that's really surprising. But yeah, after watching this game, I've been converted as well, Max.
Yeah, definitely a believer. As we look into the medic thing here, we do have a crit creep, and we have 1 drop for 404. Is that 3 drops for Flushy?
3 drops.
I don't remember 3 drops from
Yeah,
Flushy.
you've got the sticky trap. You've got the
yeah,
first one, which was just I guess 2 stickies coming at her during
Yeah.
the fight, and I think there was a bomb towards the end as well. But,
thank God, I got that. I got that old man memory. All right, so we're done with the logs. We got nuked by technology. It's pretty unfortunate.
It's
there.
LAN. It happens.
Yeah. So back to our beautiful faces. I mean, you're looking very good today, TurboTabs. Although I'm pretty sure that's the same suit you wore yesterday, right?
Right, man. This is TF2, not Dota. We don't make that much money.
Dude, I'm keeping it stylish. I wore a suit yesterday. I'm wearing this kind of get-up today. I look great. You look good too, though.
Yeah, it's the same suit though. I'm sorry, It's just I wanted to make.
You're not even trying,
Yeah.
I feel offended.
I'm a poor gamer. What can I say? These LANs don't pay for themselves, man.
That's true. They don't pay at all. We're so minus on the. I'm so scared to look at my bank account. I've been here since Wednesday. Every time I see a cash machine, I just dread it.
I wish you didn't remind me, but
I mean, my problem is that the minimum spending limit at the bar is £10 for card.
Yeah.
And out of principle, I refuse to take out money from a cash
To be
machine.
fair,
that
they do
charges.
make it easy for you by extortionately ramping up those
Oh, yeah.
alcohol prices to.
Yeah. I only have to buy 3 pints at a time, but I can down that. That's easy. I had to down a pint yesterday. Security wouldn't let me take it outside.
Yeah.
Right, we're rambling. We have 12 in server. Game shouldn't be starting in too long. What's your prediction for this map following Gollywash?
Well, my head is saying Froyo, but my heart is saying XENEX. I don't know what it is about some of these players.
It's the underdog.
I like Smear. I like Flushy. I like all these guys. I want them to make this a close game. So I'm going to go with my heart for once. I'm going to go with XENEX. It's going to be loads of rounds though. Loads of rounds.
Yeah.
It's going to be
10-9.
5-2 to XENEX.
5-2 to
Yeah.
XENEX.
Yeah. But it'll be closer than the score dictates.
5-2 to XENEX.
I think it'll be yeah. They just won't be able to push that last point for you.
All right. Well, I did see Furry yesterday on a game that didn't get casted versus Crowns. I don't know if you've seen it. Spud, they failed a last push, and Spud hit top left. All the Froyo pushed out, and he loose cannon jumped from top left onto the point and backcapped while 404 was trying to shoot arrows at him. It was amazing. I mean, so maybe that's the kind of EU gimmicks that XENEX can employ. And if they get that kind of stuff going, from what I've seen, Froyo play this map really slow, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of rounds.
Yeah.
I think Froyo are going to win, but I'm gonna give them the 2-1.
Okay, all
Nice.
right.
I'm keeping it conservative. I don't dream. I'm from Eastern European. I'm Eastern European.
Yeah.
We get taught not to dream.
Anyway, I think I could hear the countdown. We're just about to start in any moment now, Max.
In fact, that moment is now as we go into your map CP_Badlands, an absolute classic, as War said, the Dust 2 of TF2, as we take it away on this first middle. I am going to be watching your boy Smire, and so is the stream, so that's convenient. On their way here, I'm going to call that Froyo are going to play Valley first mid, because Americans always seem to play Valley first mid.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to see who turns up first at this midpoint, and it's somewhat close. Moon was actually going for the balcony rollout, while Smear's just going straight out into the thick of it. He does get healed back up by the arrow from Flushy. That's really going to bring that fight a bit forward, but they've lost so much positioning over on XENEX. I don't know what they're doing. They're just kind of like... There was a minute, a full 2 seconds there where everyone just didn't do anything, and Froyo just took the free position.
Yeah, there was like Ty was far forward and he was getting some splash damage, but the rest of his team was like, oh, it's okay, Ty's dealing with it, we'll just sort of sit back and wait. And that just kind of meant that like Ty died and then they all suddenly had to go in, and Froyo just grouped up, waited for it, and just hit their shots and eventually got the picks that they needed. And now we're going to have Froyo Cap and Spire uncontested.
Yeah, they're taking the time with
Oh,
it,
sure,
though.
yeah, they're only just getting onto it now.
But
XENEX might have a chance. We do have Amps coming out of this lobby area. He's peeking. He's okay, no, there is way too many people there. Let's just hightail it back to last.
I think Froyo just focused on just positioning everybody out in case, maybe even baiting them out to defend the second point. But XENEX a little bit too smart there and do decide to back out. But they've got control of this game already, and like I said, if it goes slow, it'll be really hard for XENEX to just make this push out, because it's a very difficult push out, what with the back caps on Badlands.
Oh, but that is kind of nerfed recently thanks to the point change, and we've definitely seen that come into play. Like, you play it the same way, it's just harder to pull off now. And I think that does, make it easier to push out, because it's so much harder to do a last push. You have to commit so much harder. It's really, really difficult to back up with like 3 or more players. Like, you're only going to be 1 or 2 up after the push out, so it makes the push out really easy.
Yeah, they're just having a poke in this lower lobby door, seeing if they could get some span out. Actually, Paddy, they were focusing Tiger on that top right-hand side, and Paddy
they got the force out.
Wow. Free-state.
So now Amps is going to have to take it in. He does get the force out of himself, and he's going to lose his life for it. But now with 2 down, that might not be the best play, because that's pretty much the Uber that they wanted. Like, it's still a good Uber for them. They're taking all of this high ground, spamming Stefan on the floor. He's trying to do as much as he can, and Funz is actually going to take down Paddy. Banny with the return meat shot onto him, though. They're just keeping XENEX trapped in their spawn. Funz is going to finally get taken down. Tiger going to go for this behind play. Gets a nice rocket there. But this is taking so long.
TLR, you could cap the point, man. What are you waiting for?
No one's playing the point.
Yeah.
Finally, Banny's on it.
Wow.
There we go.
They could have won that like a lot earlier, but it seems like they were almost playing with their food there, man.
I was thinking the same thing. Great minds, huh? Great minds. So another quick round from Froyo there, kind of what we saw in Gollywash, but it's a new map. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think it was just kind of the mid fight was lost in a certain way. I think, they can definitely keep it up this mid.
Yeah. Not sure if you've noticed, Max, but we've got these fun little plugin on the server that extends out the freeze time at the start of the round. It gives teams just a little bit more time to think about what they're going to do, so hopefully the mid should be a bit more coordinated off the back of that.
I don't know if you saw that, but like he jumped through like lobby and then he went to like go choke, but he went.
Yeah, the thing about Muma is he is not good at rollouts, so he will actually skip that drop down rollout door. To make sure he just doesn't mess it up.
Right,
so
it doesn't matter because his team are winning. They've immediately got the frags. That was another bad mid from XENEX there. They never really got any position. Froyo just jumped across the point and they landed all the damage that they have. Funz is still alive. They do know where he is. He's just going to go back into resup and run away.
Yeah, they've already set themselves up. It looks like Muma's just trying to maybe even get a forward sticky trap. He could probably catch out Funz, who's like floating about on the battlements. Muma's going to get a pipe on him. There you go. There's the cleanup kill onto Funz. I don't know what he was hoping to accomplish, though.
Yeah, he should have just been on last already. Free State does actually get taken down by Tiger. There's XENEX trying to go for some aggressive play. Tiger does actually end up going behind for it. He's going to jump Spire. This is Tiger's home. He is an MGE Lord. He gets a shot onto Banny, but the rest of Froyo are already there. They're like, no, Banny, no, we love you.
It's a shame MGE does not come with a mode where you play 3 players versus 1. So he's not quite attuned to that situation.
Maybe if Ty was his dad, that would have worked. Anyway, Froyo going to take the Uber onto Banny. The Pyro runs right into it. He's keeping him locked up. They're not really achieving too much. The Panny's he's still alive. Great job there from the Pyro, and that's just going to force Froyo out. But I don't think they're going to give up yet, especially with that Stefan pick. Froyo are in a good position to try something else if they so choose.
Yeah, not only did that Pyro keep the Uber well kited and just prevented all the spam, he actually managed to back out into spawn, switch back to scout, so they didn't even do the trade that you usually expect teams to just give up.
I really like this. XENEX just don't want to sit on their loss. This is like Froyo's game.
Paddy's in on the point.
But yeah, they're so exposed. Flushy getting taken down with the drop there. They just had no one looking at the stairs right behind them. As I say, they're leaving themselves exposed. We have Paddy just kill Flushy and 2-0 Froyo. That's TF2 101. Don't push through main when they're above you. They just have to walk down the stairs. I could hit taunts.
It's Badlands, man. It's a scary place to push out because you could just have those sort of plays, those wraparound plays. And Froyo do like to go with the aggressive route when it comes to defending. They'll happily go and just rotate all their players around and overwhelm you on the flank and seeing if they can punish you on these back caps.
Yeah, I really like the idea from XENEX. Like, we're not just going to sit back on our loss and just slowly have you beat us. We want to try and be active, but they just did it in a really bad way.
Nobody was
speaking of bad, let's see what XENEX managed to do on this middle as they try and all take their train early side while Froyo have their players split up. We have Stefan under the bridge trying to make some kind of play, and the first pick is going to be onto Paddy, but the health for XENEX is not really that good, while the rest of Froyo are still pretty full health. Now we're going to have them meet and choke as Stefan and Tiger mulch down the entire team, finding all of the frags. Now they regroup. TLR, the only one remaining, 1 HP, gets finished off by Amps. Finally, XENEX with a convincing middle. Good for them, as you might hear War cheering your boys on.
Paddy kind of walked into them there right at the start of the game, and he just got completely gunned down, didn't really contribute much, but instead Ams got a massive clean bomb onto them, didn't see it coming at all from even the same spot that Paddy went. So I guess just Ams flexing his Roma muscle on pocket, the second Roma, as people like to think of him on the XENEX team.
Yeah, so now with that, we've got 23 minutes remaining and Froyo only 2 up, so this is definitely doable. On the defense here, we do have the Pyro, seeing as they're facing that full Uber disadvantage, as well as the NG, so this is going to be a really difficult Uber to get up. And they're taking Smire and a Scout in, right into the Pyro. Free State reflecting everything, and Tiger even goes down to Paddy on the flank there. Free State does finally get taken down by a pipe from Smire, but it's barely even in this Uber, and now 404 is going to have the advantage. The sentry's still up. But and now they actually lose both their scouts. I'm not really sure what happened there, and that's going to leave XENEX having to back out, and Froyo should be able to come into second here. Yeah,
they were trying to pressure that bottom left door, but there was just a little war waging on whilst the combo was trying to fight each other with those Uber charges.
Wait, Amps has actually managed to get in behind. He's going bottom right, but the Spy is definitely going to be capped by the time he finally gets to last. And Free State's already on his tail.
They know he's there though, and Free State, he's got this sneak up on him, and Amps gets taken out by Muma, who's come back to, work with his buddy.
I think they've been counting this Uber. They know that it's got to go soon. TLR is going to look to take this. He's going to try and get straight onto Flushy, but a nice air shot that completely denies his Uber. Flushy's already backing out. He's coming so close to his own Uber.
Oh, he has the Uber. He can save his team.
TLR's still in. They're all in. They're trying to get onto Flushy. He finally gets the Uber in time. He pops off, but he's lost Amps and Smire for it. They're killing off Free State. Now they need to try and take this into middle. They can still block the cap. Muma spamming all these punches. It's so hard to get in, and Tiger gets completely denied. Froyo get the force, and they get this middle point. Free State and TLR still down low, but XENEX are just going to hold Spire.
Yeah, either AMS clipping on some of the map there, or Explosion just preventing him to come into that midpoint. But they couldn't really do much just because of that stunted jump from AMS. And Banny, they're just going in with it, seeing if they can overwhelm this choke area, throwing all their players in there. Muma even bringing out the loose cannon.
Paddy in from behind. He gets the pick onto Stefan. He's onto Flushy. Flushy's all on his own now in lobby. Easy pick there. And now he's going to beat the other soldier. Is going to get taken down, but Vanny's going to get that trade. That was a huge flank from Paddy there, all the way from Trash. It's just perfectly timed. Barely gets the force out. Ty does onto 404, but it almost doesn't matter. There's only Smire and Funds up. They're nowhere near the point. Vanny's going to get died to the stickies the moment the Uber comes off of him. Yes. Froyo are going to have to give a little respect to XENEX here.
Yes, Smire spent a long time setting up that trap to make sure that nobody could see it immediately. Baits that Banny kill onto the point, and that was just a free pick from there. Makes it a lot easier for XENEX to digest that last defense.
XENEX on their last, they don't want to sit on their last. They're already trying to push out, but they lose Stefan the second they leave the last point, and that instantly forces them to run straight back. They do have an Uber advantage, but it's probably not going to come into play considering they're in a defensive position, unless they've been counting it really well and they just want to try something. I mean, 21 minutes remaining, like going down 3-0 sucks, but there's still 21 minutes remaining, and XENEX have shown they're not exactly pushovers. They've definitely given some fights to Froyo so far.
But at the same time, I'm sure they're having flashbacks, just like, you know what, these push-outs haven't been great, team. Maybe we should just get a little bit greedier. Maybe even just use this point to try and play for picks rather than play for pushes.
They're going one step beyond. They've got Stefan on Spy. He just gets right behind everyone without even trying. Runs past the stairs. He's going to go to the famous decloak spot. 404
he can hear him. Stefan should be able to hear him, but the thing is, that invisibility watch goes off like a nuke. They didn't hear him,
He's gone further back. He's going to be in right now, and he's right behind me, but he gets the backstab. Yes, my man. He does get picked off eventually, but Tiger's going to get a pick onto Free State as well. So with the demo down, they can definitely run right into them. Amps is going to look to take the Zuba and straight into froyotech. They're 2 down. They're already backing off onto Spire. XENEX are trying to find and meet them somewhere. They're coming out of the lobby, but Banny's just going to jump down onto Amps. Uber is going to be forced. Paddy's going to get taken down by a scout, however. But the back cap, 404 and TLR are just straight in onto last. They do the wraparound, the sneaky combo with an Uber that they didn't even use. Get the cap. What is TF2?
I told you, man. They like to do these wraparound plays even when they're being attacked. They like to just roll the dice and like, man, if we could take it all, if we just go for this crazy play. And It was all right, the spy there. It was kind of just like bad luck that 404 decided to move a little bit forward, and he was just bumping into Muma. Had to take the Muma kill. But if he coordinated with his team a little bit better, maybe called AMS to push in just as he was going, that could have been a lot better and of a trade there.
I'm sorry, but how do you push out and miss a combo with an Uber? Like, how do you not check that and then have them backcap you? Whatever. Hopefully XENEX aren't too shook. Let's see what they do on this middle as Froyo yet again playing on their slope. And XENEX already hiding in their own choke while Froyo don't even really have any of their positions yet. Am's trying to go in for the first bomb, knocks down 404, super low there. Smire, however, is going to be the first casualty to TLR as the frags start going either way. Combo slowly dying for Froyo. But XENEX have pretty much no health. TLR in with the huge shots. It might be turning this mid round for his team. There's no HP. It's all going on the scouts to finish up these frags. Free State onto funds. Paddy takes down Ams.
Oh, Stefan, he's skulking about. He will get cleaned up though. And on the bright side though, it was a very elongated mid, so they haven't capped out this mid as quite as quickly as you could expect some teams to do on Badlands. So maybe they could even put up a fight in the second point, as Furio's only got a few players themselves. But instead, Paddy's decided to peek forward. Maybe he can get a slight little pick here.
Yeah, we'll see what he gets going. He's hiding in the rising spot, I like to call. I've seen rising there so many times. Smira is just there. They don't know. He could just jump in.
He's going to listen for that crackle.
No, they're staying completely on last. Look, Zenit, they're not trying anything. They just want an aggressive spy.
Paddy fluffed his jump there and wasn't in time to kind of get on top. But
Ty just hits the double splash rockets onto Banny there. You know
Ty
he's going to be happy about that. Oh, you know he's just going to get MG'd by Paddy, the MG Lord himself.
What was Ty expecting to do there? Like, he had none of his team behind him. It just seems like a miscommunication for XENEX. Like, are they in the same mumble?
I think Ty just saw Spire, saw players onto it, and was like, it's time. I don't think the fact that it was 4 people in heals, like, I don't think he cared.
I know this, MG.
Yeah. It's like, he's like a Russian sleeper agent, When he sees that, he just like perks up and is like, my time. But we get on to another last hold here. We actually have the Banny Sniper. That's
Banny Sniper. We don't see Banny playing Sniper. It's very, very rare. Only in the last ESEA season, he only played Sniper once during that entire season. So very strange that they would go for the Sniper. But maybe they're just feeling good and just playing, having fun. Yeah. Banny's like, I'm just going to go Sniper. It's a fun class. It's a point-and-click adventure.
He is lining up his shot. Does get that body shot there. Everyone in chat to press 1 if you think Banny's going to drop Flushy. And I want everyone in the crowd, if you can hear me, to start screaming as loud as you can if you want Banny to drop Flushy. Or if you want XENEX to just wipe Froyo from nowhere.
Either way, just shout.
Just shout, yeah. Let the people hear you know that you're there. I don't know why you're here. It's 12:25 a.m.
We just need one of those lights where it's just like applause, applause.
Oh, there we go. He got 1 pick onto Ty. As not exactly the headshot he was looking for, but it's definitely something.
Yeah, it's still poking about. I was hoping maybe they'll send some play. There you go. TLR goes in, but he gets knocked over by some stickies. They didn't even have a chance to use the Uber. They have forced out that Uber over on XENEX, and 404 is like, okay, I'll just back out here. Hold my second point from a distance. You do have Banny and Sniper.
Paddy's behind. Are we going to have another back cap here? He does run into Stefan.
404 almost dropped there. He tried to save Banny with the last little bits of that Uber charge, but they have to give up second at this point because XENEX were just rushing that Sniper. They knew exactly what to do there, and it was a very, very good push coming out from XENEX.
I don't know if you saw that, but Ams just like walked into choke, stood still, and just looked at Froyo for a second and thought to himself, am I going to launch? And of course he is. He's straight in. He's trying to get as much damage as possible, but Funds dies right as he does so. He doesn't really get anything off as Muma picks off Smiri as well. This is going to end up being really disastrous for XENEX. Ams finally getting taken down with the hard read stickies there from your boy Muma.
Yeah, like the good demo man he is, don't focus on the players getting behind you. Focus on the choke point. That is where the 90% of the time the team is going to be barreling through. And even got the bonus kill onto AMS trying to get out there. So
the only good thing is that Flushy's about to get onto his Uber, as Froyo is just already coming in through main though, and Flushy's not even there with his Uber, so Amps is going to get picked off by Paddy. Tied down as well, no soldiers. This defense is going to be really hard. They do have the Uber, that's the only saving grace, but so do Froyo. They're using it in, Flushy now using his. It's going to be slightly better, and actually Banny's going to get taken down. Somehow they might be holding this XENEX. There's still 3 down, however. They need to force Froyo out, but Free State, unchecked, is going to go lower right. There's so many stickies and everyone on the point. He's going to try something. He's just going to get double meat shot by your boy Stefan. That's the classic. Your boy. I love saying that tone.
Your boy Stefan. Anyway, it looks like they're making this use of the opportunity, trying to push out. They haven't quite got the Uber charge. They're just going in dry, but they seem confident with themselves. AMS just jumping straight onto that bite, but they've already lost Stefan. Oh no! If this was Bite here, it'd be like, no scouts, get out, get out. We can't cap this. AMS he wants the crossbow. Flushy's not hitting those crossbows on time. AMS will go down. Fluffed push, and this is why people like to go in with that Ubercharge.
Yeah, and with 6 up versus 3, Free are in a good position to start coming in. They're taking this one slowly. They're having their spam classes deal the damage before their scouts come in. Banny finds the headshot onto Stefan there, and they're making their way onto point. Ty's really weak, and this should be a cap, but the Uber's actually coming out. Spirit drops down. Him and Amps get the picks. Uber used from froyotech.
Oh, but it's a nice
XENEX all over the point. TLR somehow catches out AMS. What is going on? He kills Spirit as well. It looked like they were going to hold. The shotgun is out in 2016. Flushy with the Uber source, and that's going to be 4-0 from froyotech. Barely clutching that one out.
Wow.
Oh, actually, XENEX barely almost holded, and then Froyo barely won.
It was just like an Uber party, and everyone was just like grinding against each other for a little bit. And TLR was like fragging someone actively. I don't know what Flushy was looking at, like a dustbin or something. He could have like easily just looked at him and just went, "Oh yeah, let's make sure you don't die, buddy."
Yeah,
okay.
Flushy was flashing all of the team at the wrong time.
Yeah, you're pretty safe. You're pretty safe.
All right, let's see. We have 4-0, a possible 5-0 incoming. We didn't have one last time, so maybe there won't be another one. But XENEX really do need to sort their mids out on this map. We do have Smeary getting there nice and early. Free State looks like he was the first one, but it looks like it doesn't work out well. We have the double Solly bomb from froyotech, and that nukes down Stefan, barely living there with like 2 HP. Smeary getting knocked really low, finally getting cleaned out by TLR.
Oh my god.
Like XENEX are the most forward players, but they're so weak, and Froyo just barely clutching out these flags. Frags even, Paddy does start to go down, and Froyo actually can play a disadvantage there, I guess.
Yeah.
Of XENEX.
XENEX just kind of won that mid-fight almost out of the gate with probably the earliest frag of Badlands I've seen. I've never seen a scout die that quickly before.
He was there the same time as Smeary. I want to know what happened. That was crazy.
It was literally, he turned up and just a coordination of all the spam just pierced him and he was dead.
Okay, so we have XENEX coming up to a last push situation. They didn't fare too well last time. What would you like to see them change to maybe get a point on the scoreboard?
I'm a bit like worried. Maybe starts rotating around a bit more. Like the.
Oh no, they're just going straight for it. Amps in with the Uber, spamming the sentry down. Finally, TLR's going to have the counter pop onto him, and this is going to last so much longer. He should be taking it into the team. They do lose Free State though. He tries to take a fight with an Ubered scout. That's not too advised there in the future. If you're watching this Free State, don't take fights with Ubered scouts. And that's just going to lead to another classic Badlands last reset.
Yeah, but 30 minutes left on the clock. They're going to be feeling the squeeze. I mean, like, they were probably going to be feeling a lot more against 4-0 down. I don't care what the time probably was. It's just a daunting. It seems like an impossible task for them to come back in.
Froyo was sat in spawn. Froyo were actually sat legit in spawn. Muma's just there taunting. 404's in spawn. Free State gets a headshot onto Ams. Like, they're just going to play this clock. XENEX are coming in. They're like, where the hell are they? And now Uber's going to use his 404. Does drop Banny. Banny's probably smacking his keyboard around now. He's not a happy man. Does not like to be dropped. But they are going to kill Tiger as well as Stefan. And that's going to be a successful last hold. And they might even be pushing out. Wow, that's crazy.
Yep, with those two players, Dan, it's safe to say they could probably make the push out. Banny is going to respawn really close. But TLR going down there, I'm not sure how much pushing power they'll have without him. Then again, they have taken out quite a few players. Keep in mind, Tiger and Stefan have only just respawned, so they've just joined the fight. Tiger does get the free Muma kill, though.
How did Smeary get out? Did you see that? He had like 3 stickies at his feet, and he just stands still, puts a sticky, and just jumps out, and no one could catch him. That was godlike. That's my man.
Oh,
Smurf.
Paddy, a nice little air shot, but can't quite finish off funds. He's going to go down on the back lines, but Froyo is still strong on arming their way into this choke point. I'd like to see them hold on to this. They have got the respawn advantage here, so they could probably just fight this. And plus, they don't even have the safety net of the Uber, but they're just not feeling confident in themselves, it seems, XENEX.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They could have tried and held that one out for longer, but Froyo are just so good at brute forcing their way in and making you feel like you can't hold it, but I don't know. And like, in theory, they should have stayed there, right? It looked like they had everything that they wanted in that situation, but they're not feeling themselves. So it's like, yeah, it's the right play, but if they don't really have their heart in it, it might turn out even worse than, you know, they're holding second now. Like, that's fine. They're not losing, you know?
I'm just a bit confused. Like, they draw the line at certain places like, oh, let's make the really, really difficult pushes. But when you've got, like, something that's quite commonly doable, they just decide to not do it. It's a bit inconsistent.
That's just lacking game sense, TurboTabs.
Maybe it's just the morale of the team. Like, it's just been truly decimated at this point. They're just going through the motions.
Yeah, just waiting to be choked out. Now, this isn't over. We shouldn't do it like that. I definitely believe XENEX can come back any second now. 10 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. Press 1 again if you want that XENEX comeback in chat. I want to see everyone spam it, because I believe Europe. Europe. Please.
I'm not doubting XENEX. I'm just probably calling into question whether or not XENEX is doubting XENEX. But TLR gets the pick onto Tiger, who's fishing for a little, I guess, fight in the house area. Couldn't quite find anything. Smear gets a free kill onto this choke area. He was brought down very low though, so
no demo and even Ubers. Go, go, go.
Yeah. Well,
Oh no, they have Free State behind, and they know about it. Look at them. They have to deal with it. Okay, that explains that.
Yeah.
We're just blind. We haven't caught anyone going behind. Free State, with the master play,
Man.
doesn't get seen as he leaves, so they're still going to stay and look for him while he's behind,
Yeah,
but he's not even behind anymore. That's so good.
What Free State needs to kind of do now is, like, if he just stays hidden throughout the this entire sort of thing, they're making the push anyway.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, XENEX finally making the push, getting straight onto 404, knocks him down to half HP before he uses Flushy's already used. Now the question is, what is XENEX going to do the moment this Uber ends? It looks like they're going to separate. Flushy getting caught out with these beautiful juggles though, knocked right into the corner. Is he going to be able to do it? Barely ekes out of house. And now with some heals, his team are going to come back in, but Froyo are dealing so much damage. The XENEX don't have a leg to stand on. They're trying to come out of this house, taking so much damage. Finally getting some frags of their own though. No soldiers for TLR, so they're losing the spam. And with that advantage, XENEX are actually starting to win this fight slowly but surely. Free State's still trying to go in. Nice sticky there from Smear is going to knock him down. And 404 in the choke. 1 HP. Scout of Stefan finally going to finish him off. Rumours 14. Stefan, you could go for that pick though.
I don't know what's going on in TF2 anymore. That looked like that Froyo definitely going to win that. Flushy was, it seemed like Flushy was screaming at his team. He's like, team, why are you backing? I've got the Uber charge. Go, go, go. And then when he tried to claw his way back, they had to throw Tiger in there just to make sure he just didn't die. But XENEX just came out and just fragged things. That is the best analysis I've got there, Max.
Yeah, it's pretty much what happened. Like, I think it was all on Flushy living, really. If he died there, that would have been it. But with those heals, they were able to come back in because they weren't exactly like low. So they just got that little love tap that they needed and came back in and was like, hoorah, let's do this. So now we're going to be set up for another last push. It's not been looking too good on the last pushes for them so far, thus them having 0 points this, and there's going to be another solid defense here. The NG and Pyro worked pretty well for Froyo last time. Uber's going to be coming in onto Smear right now. Big reflects coming out, but they do take down Free State with the first pick, and the Sentry Gun's going to get picked up by Smear, and now they need to start making a play. Oh my god, the stickies actually didn't do anything. They have so much cap time. Second Scout running in. Oh no, XENEX are starting to just lemmings for the point because there's no sticky. But Amps and Tiger with these huge picks, they're doing it. Only 404 remaining above the point, and they cap it. Finally, XENEX get on the board. Europe!
Yeah.
Europe! I believe.
We did it, 1 round.
Woo!
But I don't know. It was a bit strange that it literally
So
came
it's
down
10-2
to
at the
this.
moment.
I think this is the reason. Basically, you just don't see Demo Man going for those fancy like sticky traps that are hidden and whatnot. Sometimes they just do those moments where they clip into the wrong piece of the map and they don't do as much damage as they should do. So most Demo Man 9 times out of 10 will just lay it on the floor, keep it reliable.
If it ain't broken,
Don't fix it.
thank you. All right, so we're going to be going into this. Our 6th mid. Kind of surprised that we're here, in all honesty. Smear beats the rest of Froyo by a country mile. Don't know if that's different from a regular mile, as both teams go forward. A shit house play from froyotech, but they're getting counter bombed. Tiger's getting juggled through the air. He's in on the team though. Almost takes down Paddy, and they're just going to finish him off. But all the position is here for XENEX and all the help. They just need to spam out froyotech, and that's what they're doing. But 404 is trying to arrow every player, but they're all so weak. Banny's trying to make some kind of play under half HP.
You know,
Free State's actually the only full
just
player.
send the scouts to second right now. Why are they doing this battleships? It seems over on the lower and the midpoint.
Because they have the Uber. It's coming in on to Paddy, and he's just going to run away from 404. That is the optimal Uber play. It's like, thanks for that, mate. I'm going to go do nothing with it. Just going to go die to Amps. Nice play, Paddy. Good shit.
Okay, that was definitely strange. I've not seen many scenarios like that, but Muma has hidden a sticky trap onto the point, seeing if he can get that free kill, and it's actually happens to be a smear kill. So what a value sticky trap coming out for them. They do use the Uber charge over on XENEX, and Tiger's doing work on this flank. He's killed a few players over on this battlements area, and they'll probably even get this kill onto Banny as well.
Yeah, but Banny's
it seems nobody sees Banny. Why is no one shooting at him?
They do eventually clean up that pick. There's only 3 people remaining, and they're already capping Spire. I want the XENEX players to be moving forward, even though most of their numbers are here in spawners. It looks like they are finally taking some ground. Am spamming from this main area as the rest of his team are slowly arriving. They do have about a 50% Uber advantage that they could definitely play off, and they're not really going to... Yeah, Froyo just stick it to a classic cookie cutter. Like, they could do it. Oh, as I say that, of course, they switched to the Pyro Energy.
Look at these stickies from Muma. What on earth is this? This is very sloppy.
Those are some NA stickies, man.
Ugh.
Really? Like, wait, after you have a failed sticky trap that did lose you the round, you then lay your stickies like that.
Yeah.
What is going on? Oh, they get the sentry before the push.
I mean, maybe I'm
so smart.
I'm on top demo, man. I don't understand. Maybe this is strategically placed. This is the
Wait,
optimum.
Free State's dropped down. They've got the magic window. Free State dropped down. He couldn't come in to reflect the Uber, and they just come in. He's going to get taken down immediately from Spirit.
No,
and the pipes
Banny.
onto their Banny. Oh my god, they've got the heavy TLRs there. He's onto all of them. They're not looking at him, though. He's got the shotgun now. In 2016, he's got the shotgun now. He's like 2 HP. They need to start making a play for the point. They're going on to the stickies. They're off. They're capping it out. 4-2. Let's go! Woo!
Wow. I mean, my heart...
I believe.
I did go with the heart, and I did say there's going to be a lot of rounds into this, and there is 5 minutes. It is possible, but my brain's just screaming. It's like, Froyo
this
wanted
is a certainty.
to. If Froyo wanted to, though, they could slow this game down. But I'm like, shut up, brain. Nobody likes you.
If XENEX win, I am buying them all drinks except Amps and Ty, because, you know, they're children. They're underaged. Actually, Amps might be of age.
No, man. If they win this, they need to concentrate. You can't buy them drinks.
No, if anyone deserves a drink after this, it's definitely XENEX. Let's see if they earn it on this mid-fight here. Mid-fight number 7. After some explosive rounds for XENEX, finally turning it around. They're going to have Froyo jump onto them. You're usually playing the passive mids, but they're getting committed on. Tiger's going to be the first pick, and Froyo are just all over this mid-fight. XENEX don't really know what to do with themselves. They're just all hiding in their safety area. But Smire's going to get the 1-pipe 2-kill combo, and Free State's going to get taken down by Stefan, and TLR by Funds. This is another huge mid from XENEX. They've got the momentum. Can they be stopped?
I mean, I don't know. They were just putting all their eggs into the TLR basket there, where he made the huge wraparound play, and XENEX being, you know, the smart invited team that they are, they just went like, oh, there's one less player here. He might as well be a dead player, and they just move forward, play off the numbers advantage, and won the midpoint from there.
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing. I mean, we've been counting them out, but they've definitely proven us that we're wrong. They're going to be upset when they watch the cast. You know, they're idiots. We always had this already, as we have 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. I mean, it is definitely doable, but XENEX need to keep the pace quick. There is no NG this time. They've just sticking with the Pyro for this defense. They had a magic window, but they don't have it this time, as the Pyro is ready for the Uber, and he's going to get Ubered onto himself, and they're just going to get forced out. They're actually even trapping Funds in. Oh, that's disastrous for XENEX. This could be really good for Froyo, as they're going to start making the push out. Oh, they've even caught out Flushy and drop down. Oh, no.
Where was his pocket there? It seems like everyone got out quicker than Flushy, or Flushy... Either way, it just seemed like a scenario that shouldn't happen. Tiger's hiding about, but he's been checked. That spot, well, checked by Froyo there to make sure they don't get caught out.
He's always done it. Yeah. Hide somewhere else, Ty. Jesus, don't hide the same place every time.
All right. Desperate time scores for desperate measures. They're just going to start with the hidden sticky traps coming out from Smir. Hopefully he can get like a 6-man kill with these stickies as they make this push in. They're going to have the Uber advantage as well, so Froyo are expected to make this push into middle.
But it'd be the smart play for them not to. With like the time and round advantage, it's really on XENEX to do something. I think the moment they have numbers, they just have to go. I mean, you can see they're already really close to choke. Yeah, Amps is actually just going to go straight in. He's trying to deal as much damage, but he has been denied so hard. The rest of his team can't even come in now that they're already half health. Free State is actually going to go down, however, and Ty immediately goes back to the respawn queue after just getting out. That's kind of unfortunate. We are going to have the scouts make a play for the point right now, though, and the spam coming in from Uma to try and deny it. Finally, some soldiers getting on there. Amps actually just ends up knocking himself off the point, but the question is, will he actually go in? He tries to get in onto Muma. He is landing the rockets. He knocks him up into the air, and the splash damage finally finishes him off. However, he's Paddy jumping him. Oh! Yes, Amps! Woo. Huge shot from him there. Attempt number 2, 404, completely on his own, but Smire can't get it. He's going to reconnect with his scouts there. Some huge play from Amps and the rest of his XENEX boys. 3 minutes remaining. Come on! Come on!
Froyo had a bad Uber, and XENEX just had some good air shots there. That's just how it came down to it. It seems 404 wanted to go aggressive with it. TLR didn't communicate the fact that he just wanted to dip in, do some damage, and get out. And as he was trying to get out with no rockets, he got popped on with the Uber. Anyway, they've already picked up the Paddy kill, got the Free State kill, and they're controlling this combo very well. And Muma's used the sticky trap. They can play the point right here.
Yeah, they're getting all of these picks. There's only 2 people remaining. They're nowhere near the point. That's going to be 3-3. Come on, boys. Yes!
What is happening, Max?
The comeback is fucking real.
Oh, Jesus. What are they doing? Maybe everyone's just doing what Banny's doing. They were leaning back in their chairs. They think they've got this now. But I think the only one that should be leaning back is Banny, because he's the only one that can play. Who can play like that, by the way?
I don't know. Hawku tried it, and he ended up unplugging the Aussies' PCs at i58. It's definitely takes some talent. It's taken a while to get started. Do we have a pause? Froyo doing the, we're losing, it's time to pause?
Oh, God.
Oh, that's 100.
Tactical pause.
Oh, my mouse isn't working. Oh, no, conveniently after we lose 3 rounds.
I would think if I was Banny, I'd smash my mouse as well to get a pause.
Actually, that might be it. I think Banny's just sitting there seething, and he's just crushing his mouse. This is beautiful. Like, XENEX are actually bringing this back. They've turned their mids completely around. Their transitions are so much smoother.
I can tell you now that the fact that they're losing this much, Banny will just literally be breaking down, almost giving them a flowchart. What you should be doing. It's like, Paddy, you should be doing this. You should be doing this movement. You should be doing this. Maybe not so much TLR, but I know when it gets to the crunch, they will turn to Banny, and Banny will micromanage them.
I want to talk to Banny after this game. That might be one of the funniest conversations I ever had.
If only we still had team comms. Remember when there was a thing?
Oh, God, that would be beautiful right now. The greatest team comm moments always come from the Americans. Always. Do you remember the show match between, what was their names? TLR and
you mean
current Ronin.
Mix up? And
No. TLR and current Ronin. The name that they used to.
You mean
versus
like
Ascent? Yeah.
You mean TLR, the team? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and they had the thing where they were winning. Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, this is so easy."
I'm not
going
to repeat the words on stream, because keep it PG, keep it Christian.
Yeah, but they were like, they're so bad, and then they started losing, and then their comms were just mad depressed. Or when they played against Nerd Rage and Tech got a 1v4, and it's like, it's just the combo. Sorry, Americans, you probably hate me now, but whatever. I have the Aussies and the Euros. That's all.
But
I need.
This just goes back to it, man. About this whole a lot of these teams are on par with each other.
Oh yeah.
Who knows if XENEX are a very emotional team as well. This plays into them. If they're feeling the hype, it just helps them more and more. Flushies like this, Tigers like this, AMS is definitely like this. They're just, and I think they'll just play off this little comeback extremely well. But the fact that they've got this pulse, this is really bad for XENEX. It's going to slow down the wind in their sails a little bit. Froyo going to take a deep breath. They're going to be like, it's okay. We're a round up. There's just 8 minutes. We can slow down the game.
But in the same breath, it gives XENEX the time to figure out exactly why what they're doing is working.
Yeah.
So they might even use this as an opportunity to win even harder. As the unpause finally comes out, we are 4-3, 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this CP Badlands in your first winners bracket game here between XENEX and froyotech. I mean, definitely doable. XENEX are on their comeback hype right now, and I can't talk. I'm so excited. You just take it away, TurboTabs. I need to get ready to scream some more.
2 minutes left. They have to really... Everything just has to go off like clockwork here. And Smear, somewhat the first man arriving to the mid. Muma caught a little bit behind, but hasn't really affected things right now. XENEX are just sitting back. They're just waiting. And here comes the launching AMS. But, the trading roamers. Nice air shots coming out from TLR and AMS there. Trading. They decide to send their next second roamer on the team. Tiger going aggressive. But he doesn't quite get the bomb he was looking for, and XENEX will lose out on the man fight by numbers alone, and Froyo win that mid.
Yeah, 3 versus 4. XENEX wisely back out. They do have the Uber though, as does 404. They're just going to have to wait for their spawners, and they've pretty much got to win the next fight and roll it from there. 1 minute, 28 seconds is not looking too good. Smeary knows this. He's jumping in. He's trying to get off as much damage as possible. Not really catching it, but he's forcing the players to go back. He's not letting them come into them, which is really good. And it looks like we're going to go for another house play. It worked out quite well for them last time, but as if by blind luck, Uber's coming out. TLR's trying to take it into the team. It's only him and 404. So much better of an Uber, because Flushy flashed the whole world there. And they're just going to reset. But now with no Ubers in play, they might just go for the dry push as they are coming in through choke. Smeary is trying to get off the damage. Got the big launch coming in here. He's not really getting much for it. Amps actually might just be going down straight away. A little too far ahead of his team there. And all of XENEX are dying. No!
There, Max. It's okay. XENEX, they will get out with Flushy on the bright side of things. And they do hold a tiny amount of advantage, but it'll be negligible at this point. And I think with 40 seconds left on the clock, I think that's all said and done.
From second to last, I mean, they're not holding last yet, so if they go right now, I mean,
I don't know.
Not likely, but I mean, it might happen. All right, we do have Smeary make it or break it, almost getting an air shot out of the sky right there, but he's going to get picked off, and that might spell the end. Tiger is trying. He doesn't want to give up yet, but his dad would have made the play, but unfortunately, it's just Tiger. So, yeah.
Here lies Max's hopes and dreams for the comeback.
I was so excited.
Rest in peace.
I feel like I asked my parents for something for Christmas, and I knew exactly how big the box would be. I saw the box that size, I opened it up, and it wasn't what I wanted.
I want XENEX to just, let me, drop me down into the earth, into my coffin, so they can let me down just one last time. Because we had a little bit of hope there. We were educated. We thought like, nah, man, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And for a moment there, it's even worse the fact that it made it closer.
Yeah, we were so realistic. Yeah, we were like, XENEX are a good team. I mean, everyone has been so close, but Froyo probably going to do it. But we're done. My throat hurts. We've expended all of our passion onto this game, and we're going to give it to some other passionate people and war with the Analysts. Take it, boys.
Well, tell you what, it's 2016, and we've seen... hear myself right now, but let's talk about it. A real run there by XENEX. We were watching here on the desk, and we were saying that they were looking very legit, and they very nearly pulled it off on that Badlands map. Some better performances by some characters on the XENEX team, right?
Yeah, Shocky and AMS really sort of pulling it together. We saw quite early on, especially in Badlands, there were some very clumsy mistakes, lots of people just getting caught out by themselves. And that allowed Froyo to get a good lead, but once they sort of settled down, XENEX played their game, and it was very even. Just a shame they gave Froyo a four-round head start.
Were you excited? War, I saw a bit of excitement out of War. This might seem hard to believe, but I could sense in his heart that passion that people know him for.
It is known that when I do get a bit excited, my eye does twitch.
Yep.
It was a bit.
.tv.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just too little, too late from XENEX. I mean, it was their map pick that went 3-0 down, and to sort of get that rally at the end is just a bit too. It's just too late. But they should be happy because they've got something to work on in the lower bracket. They were the better team through the second half of it. They played how I think everybody expected them to. They all sort of actually reached their general potential. If we can bring up the logs, we can take a breakdown of the numbers and then judge people based on those numbers. That's always the best way to bully individuals. The very, very sickening thing is the fact that Muma's deaths reached double digits.
That is unheard of.
I don't know if it's possible, but I think he should be kicked.
A career high.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were looking at that. I mean, a lot of times, really, I mean, it felt like Froyo were very comfortable, and a couple times playing passively where we thought maybe they were going to move, and they just kind of held back and just playing it really safe. I mean, they don't have to take any chances at this point in the tournament. They're just playing their game, right? Having a look here at some of the numbers. What sticks out to you, CX? We're looking at some of the damage numbers here.
It's a bit hard to tell, because obviously, like we said, it was sort of a game of two halves. So Froyo got such a significant advantage. I think there was one point where Muma's KD was really good. I mean, it's still not bad. Yeah. But they really got off to such a great start. It was always going to be tough for them. We see TLR up there at the top of the damage. It's always going to be tough for them to come back from that. But like we said, promising for XENEX. Obviously, it's not the result they were looking for, but they're going to go down to the lower bracket. They're going to play one of the open bracket teams, I believe. So a real chance for them to wind themselves back up again and work the way back up the hard way.
Only 4 deaths by 404 in a 7-round game was very impressive, and I think tells a lot of the story. We have a look at some of the numbers here in terms of the medics. We had the 2 drops, of course, by Flushy. No drops for, I mean, Brad is 404, sorry. I know invite players, I call them. I don't know the wording of that meme, but no, I mean, he played fantastic. It's some of the best play I think we've seen out of 404, in my opinion. Yeah,
really solid. Didn't give anything away. It didn't really give a lot of opportunities to any of the XENEX players. And again, the way his team work around him, the way Banny's just glued to his side, keeping him safe, keeping those soldiers off him.
Saw Tiger kind of selling out maybe a little bit too much sometimes, maybe going for those big picks. So I saw, we're off the screen there now, but Tiger had a lot of deaths, something like 28 deaths, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chasing. Yeah, we have a look at some more of the numbers there. So, you know, for XENEX, I mean, it is encouraging at the very least that there's a bit of life in there. I mean, they're not totally laying down. It is a long day of TF2. Damage numbers overall for team, pretty even there, even though the frags were somewhat skewed.
Yeah, we mentioned it. We didn't think that was really a significant DM advantage on Froyo. And the fact that the damage is pretty much even. It's just the frag is the difference. That early part of the map where we're giving away so many picks. Just Tiger, AMS, Shocky, all just taking turns to feed into Muma and the rest of froyotech. Just put them on such... It's impossible to play a game when you're constantly a player down for no real good reason.
Similar as the first map. I mean, it was they played fantastic XENEX, they just couldn't turn frags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mid fights I felt from XENEX were at the start very, very poor and mistimed. You would always find that the aggression from the soldiers would be very, very early, or they would go in too deep, so there wasn't enough follow-up. But regardless, towards the end of the game, they really sort of settled down, found their stride. Now they've got to do that in a lower bracket, but there is no second chances.
Well, speaking of the soldiers, we've got a calm, composed guy, the Iceman himself, TLR, who's standing by over here with eXtine. Let's kick it over to eXtine. We're here in a second.
Hello, eXtine.
They're not ready yet. TLR's still off celebrating the victory, you know?
We've teased them a bit, you know.
Premature.
We, in just a moment here, we will give you TLR, but certainly, I mean, a good start. It's always nice kicking off the day with a victory, isn't it? Kind of sets the pace. Yeah. It's never fun getting into the lower bracket, even though it's not the end of the world.
And the good thing for Freyo is that they actually had a decent warm-up on the second map, you know? They were tested.
Absolutely.
So overall, it'll be pretty good.
Yeah. We have Jeffrey eXtine standing by with TLR. Kick it over.
Gentlemen, eXtine here with our interview segment once again. I got TLR from froyotech, and Victor's off of the game against XENEX that we just watched, but we want to start things off with just asking you, how's the team feeling today? You guys rested, feeling good, feeling confident?
I think we're feeling a lot better today. I mean, for me personally, I had over 30 hours of travel time, so the first day I was just beat. So getting like a pretty good night's sleep, feeling a lot better today. So.
Nice. Now, you know, we've alluded to it. You've been back for a bit. We talked to Banny about it a bit. But how has it been, like, returning to TLR? I mean, is it just like returning to TF2? Is it just like riding a bike? You just hopping on and air-shotting people automatically? Or how much did you really have to sharpen your tool set?
Well, I was playing a couple, like, FPS games here and there, Reflex and Quake a little bit. So, honestly, not so much the mechanical skill, more like the flow of the game, kind of. I know my first couple I had a scrim, and then the next day we played a match versus Ronin, you know. So it was a little rough coming back in, just getting the flow of, like, the stuff that's automatic to the good players, like tracking Ubers and where our team is, where the enemy team is. Stuff like that was a little tough, actually. Like, I kept getting kind of not on the same page with the team, but after a couple weeks of scrims, like, that stuff started getting ironed out. So, and I felt more comfortable then to start, like, calming and stuff as well, so.
Nice. Well, yesterday you guys had, you know, maybe a bit of a slow start, a couple draws, but against, you know, Jasmine, which it was only you and Full Tilt managed to get a draw against them. Then you guys pulled out some wins, and then unfortunately had a very close game that did result in a loss against Crowns. I would love to hear your thoughts on the group stage and how things overall went for you guys yesterday.
Okay, just overall, I think it's interesting that so many ties. Like, the top teams are very close here, so that should make an interesting land. Like, I'm curious to see what happens. But I think for us personally, like, we were just kind of like we're not on the same page yesterday especially, like miscommunications, little arguments, little team drama, you know, and so far today it's been much better. I think we've ironed a lot of that stuff out, and I'm excited to play those teams again today.
Nice. Yeah, you guys got Jasmine coming up next. That game against XENEX. Do you think there was anything in particular that you guys added to your game today to make sure that you would come out victorious against them? And I know that you guys also did get a chance to scrim them on Badlands, in fact, before this tournament even started. It was like the only scrim that you guys got. So, yeah, what were your thoughts on the game against XENEX?
I think there, honestly, a big thing we talked about is just be more positive. You know, we were doing a lot of reflecting in our game. You know, we would do something bad at mid, and then we would be discussing what happened at mid while they were pushing our last, you know, and then that would just lead on and on and on. And I think today we were a lot more focused on what we were doing at the time, and that helped us more than anything.
Nice. And so, as I mentioned, you guys got Jasmine coming up next. When you guys drew against them, that was on Viaduct. It was a 4-4 draw. And in this last series, Viaduct was your guys' first ban. Do you guys have some plans, some thoughts in mind of how you're going to approach Jasmine, what maps you might want to play against them, and how you're going to try to break that team down?
Specifically on Viaduct?
Well, maybe not Viaduct if that's in your ban list again, you know?
I think we banned Viaduct just because it's so different. You know, it's the only Koth map. And a lot of the European teams, and I think the Aussies too maybe, play Sniper on it. And so that's something we're not quite used to. And I feel like that can kind of like get us off a little bit. But for that, we just need to play aggressive and just not give the Sniper shots. I'm good.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, a final question for you. I was not aware of this, but we were talking about different people and their setup and stuff, and it came out that you play standing up, and here at the LAN, you're forced to sit down. You made adjustments at home to change your setup to get used to sitting again. Like, what are your thoughts on that overall? And I mean, I think a lot of gamers are probably curious about this topic.
I don't think it's as big of a health benefit as people make it seem to be. Like, you're not gonna get skinny just from doing that. It's not gonna do anything like that for you. The main motivation for me was, I think sitting all day is really bad. Like for me, there for a while I had really bad back pain, and I attributed that partly to sitting so much, because your abdominal muscles are they're relaxed, and it puts extra stress on your back. So that was the main motivation for me to do it. And honestly, it's not as a lot of people are like, oh my god, you play, it doesn't actually feel that different, specifically for gaming, because with gaming, you're engaged, in what you're doing. The biggest difference is if you're just mindlessly browsing the internet, you're like, what am I doing sometimes? I'm just standing here, So I think for gaming, it's totally fine. But just to be on the safe side, a week before LAN, I went ahead and switched to a sitting. That's just to kind of get back to it. But really, it's not that big of a difference for gaming, so...
Interesting. Well, I appreciate all your insights for sure. Just want to give you a shout out before we transition to things for any shout outs.
Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to the really good production. Shout out to eXtine for being really nice this whole LAN. Shout out to my team. That's it.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks again, Tyler. And definitely, guys, we got more awesome action coming up next. The froyotech versus Jasmine team match. We are going to hop over to a very quick ad break, but don't go anywhere. We will be right back with some more TF2.